Hello everyone and welcome to another look at the Super Soldier Conference. How's everyone doing? Hope your weekend's going well so far. Had fun at the wedding yesterday. Hurt my foot a little bit, but that's okay. That's just me being a dumb bitch. You know how it is. So welcome. We are going to be taking a look at more of the Super Soldier Activation Conference. If you missed the first episode of this, this is a conference put on by James Rink and some of the other people from the Super Soldier conspiracy theory community. The short version of things is this is a group of people who all share a delusion that they were super soldiers in a secret space program that's put together both by the United States government and aliens. So they all believe very specific fantasies about these previous lives that they had that involved dimensional travel, space travel, aliens, the plot of Star Wars, the plot of Star Trek, the plot of Predator. If you can think of a sci-fi film, at least one person in the group thinks that that specific plot actually happened to them, and then Hollywood stole their life story to turn it into a movie. So yeah, it's a convention full of a lot of delusion. It's pretty interesting. So we're going to be taking a look at this today, and that's about it. Should be pretty chill. You did not miss much, Spokane Dogman. Not much to miss so far, just went live. So, cool beans, if you want to help support the stream, you can always do so by becoming a subscriber on Twitch, a member on YouTube, using super chats on YouTube, bits on Twitch, or gifting subs on Twitch. We're also working on our XXL stream month goal. That's the tip goal, where once we get to it, I'm going to allocate 4 days in a month to do special 8-hour streams. We're going to be doing a variety of things. We're going to do a big, long 8-hour tinfoil stream, looking at some longer form conspiracy documentaries. We're going to take a look at Marantz Rantz's meme stock conspiracy documentary in another of the streams. And then I haven't decided necessarily for some of the other ones, but they should be fun. So, anyway, let's just jump into it, shall we? Oh, and if you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. Hit the thumbs up or double tap the screen on your phone. All right, let's jump into it.
And here comes Michael, guys. He's all ready to come up. Thank you, guys.
What an introduction. Here comes Michael, guys. Here he is.
Woohoo, here we go.
Woohoo.
Coming? There you go.
Let's go, Michael.
How you doing? Good. Want me up now? What's that? You want me now? Yeah, if you're ready, if you're good. You need a break?
Hey, Nemesis. Hey,
I don't need a break.
No, you've had a rest. All right, thank you. You got this.
How's everybody doing? It's time to wake up.
That's how you kill at any conspiracy conference. Make vague allusions to, like, waking up, not being asleep anymore. You're not one of those sheeple. You're awake, okay? That'll get them. It's like that Family Guy sketch where Lois is just like 9/11 and everyone claps.
It's time to wake up. How far does that camera reach?
Oh no, he's
All
doing...
It can get all
Oh, he's trying to be funny. Oh no.
that? Good, because I'm a walker. I want to welcome you to the Super Soldier Conference that Jimmy has been practically killed to put together. And I want you to really, please, at this time, put into your mind the healing of James Rink. Because he's being attacked from about 3 different directions that I can tell.
For those that don't know, James is the guy that's in charge of all of this. Like I said earlier, his name is James Rink. He runs the Super Soldier YouTube channel and Rumble channel. He set up this convention, at least in part. He's one of the people that set it up. And he is ill. He got an illness shortly before the conference, and he is ill at the conference. During part 1, I made jokes that maybe he was hungover because it's a conference and there tends to be a lot of drinking at conferences and stuff. But looking at some of the videos that were right before the conference, it appears he actually got sick. I don't know if he has the flu or COVID or something else. He's sick. But of course, this is a room full of conspiracy theorists, so they can't just say, oh, that's poor timing that James got sick right before the big conference he helped organize. It has to be, clearly he's being attacked by nefarious entities from within and without our universe. As you do. Janerdy with a 15-stream streak says, ah yes, it's the super soldiers so bad even Wish.com said no. Also, I posted a picture of the most extraordinary cat in the live stream chat on Discord called Cashmere after how the fur apparently feels nice. Join the Discord if you'd like to see that. Do the command. Let's see. We always enjoy new people in the Discord, so make sure you check it out. Doot, doot, doot.
And I'm a remote healer, and I'm going to be working on him a lot.
Well, you do it then, fuck. Why are you telling other people to do it? You do it.
But I would really like you guys' help. So if you would.
Not a very good healer if you need the help of everyone in the crowd to do your job.
Put Jimmy in your mind. I can call him that. He's my friend, okay? And picture him as he was 5 years ago, okay? Picture him as he was 5 years ago when his body wasn't crooked and his organs were working properly and all that kind of stuff, okay? Because I'm serious. He really needs our help.
It's good to picture your friends with functioning organs. That's what I always do.
So we're just going to take another couple of seconds on that. All right. So my name is Michael Sedona. I was on the stage, sharing the stage this morning on the opener to kind of give you a little taste of the bizarreness of my life and how that turned into how I live to help everybody else, how I live to help other people. And part of what happened to me was I ended up meeting 3 8-foot, very white, slightly blue extraterrestrials from the Crux constellation.
Oh, wouldn't you hate to live in the Crux constellation? Also, I always find it interesting that conspiracy theorists who believe in aliens will describe them as being, like, from a specific constellation, when that's a very subjective thing. Just because it's a constellation from our perspective doesn't mean from another perspective it's necessarily going to be the same constellation. It's just a very Earth-centric way of looking at the aliens' place of origin. Are they okay with that?
I call them Cruxians.
Are they okay with that? It's not a very pleasant name.
They kind of look a little bit like Nordics. They kind of look a little bit like tall whites, but they have no hair. They have bumpy heads. They have no ears. And cornflower blue eyes with white centers, which is very unusual for ET species. This particular group was part of a mission. These 3 beings were part of a mission. And on my tours, I kind of liken it to the Mormons, okay? When the Mormons knock on your door and you open it up, there's 2 of them. But there's a lot more Mormons out there going door to door with the mission, okay? So the extraterrestrials, the Cruxians that I met, the 3 8-footers, they were at my house dealing with me, but there was a lot more beings, not just Cruxians, involved in the mission to communicate with 1 million Earth humans between 2000 and 2002.
I kind of think we would have heard about that. Over 1 million people made direct contact with aliens, and you're the only one that was like, hey, by the way, got a visit from him.
I was one of them. Now, I've been hearing...
Also, at that point, if they wanted to make contact, why not just, like, show up to a baseball game, like in Space Jam? Just land at the pitcher's mound, just be like, hey, everyone, just so you know, we're aliens. You don't need to do 1 million house calls?
A bit of talk earlier about government testing programs and taking advantage of special kids. And I was one of them. Now, whenever anything was happening in this country, I was there. What?
He's basically extraterrestrial Forrest Gump.
What do you mean? Okay. In 1967, I lived 5 miles from the corner of
Space Jam is basketball, Hannah. You don't talk to me about Space Jam like you know about it. You clearly don't know the plot of Space Jam, because despite the fact that Space Jam is about basketball, the plot involves the period of time in which Michael Jordan was attempting to be in the MLB, Major League Baseball, so the movie ends before the ending scene where he rejoins the Chicago Bulls. Ends with aliens landing at a baseball field so Michael Jordan can make an appearance at his minor league baseball game. So actually, hold on. Actually, Will Kale, a spaceship lands on a baseball diamond in the movie Space Jam, so maybe think or Google or IMDb before you come at me thinking you know more about Space Jam's plot than I do. I'm fine.
Haight-Ashbury in Tiburon, California.
Do you own Space Jam on 4K? Because this bitch does. I owned the sequel on 4K, and I've never even seen the sequel. I'm insane. Don't get in a fight with a crazy person.
California. If you don't know,
Hannah mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card. Also, Space Jam essay when. I already put out the medbed video. Why can't we forget about my mistakes? Ah!
Ashbury was the corner in San Francisco of the hippie movement. That's where it started. Are you taking me down on volume? Okay. Because I won't scream to make up for it. All right.
Give us the Space Jam review. Now that I am doing edited content again, it would be funny to finally do a Space Jam review, but like 6 people would get the joke, and that's not very funny.
So in 67, I was in that part of the country going to school in a bus that played Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin.
Your school bus played music?
Okay, this is my adaptation of the Are You Experienced album with the 3 ETs characterized that I met. These t-shirts are available. Okay, 2 years later, or actually a year and a half later, in 69, I was in La Crescenta, California. La Crescenta is the home of NASA and JPL. Now, you know what NASA means, right? Never a straight answer, right? Not a space agency. JPL.
Wait, so they believe in a secret space program, but they think NASA's fake. That's a new piece of information to me. So their fake space program is the real space program, and the real space program is fake. Okay, that makes sense. Totally.
On the other hand, had engineers.
You got Garbage Pail Kids, the movie on Blu-ray, more watchable than Space Jam. I can't tell if you're making a joke or not, because if you has that ever released on Blu-ray? If it did, it's definitely out of print. Do you really have Garbage Pail Kids on Blu-ray? Because that's incredibly rare if you do. Because I know for a fact I don't have it, and if it was out on Blu-ray and easily available, I would have it.
Here's that made the rockets and things happen.
Let me
They're the
look.
ones that were infiltrated by Operation Paperclip. And NASA is designed to just cover things up so that you don't know what's really going on. And JPL's job was to make.
Okay, it is on Blu-ray. It's out of print and it's $70. Jesus Christ. Send me your copy of Garbage Pail.
Things go. Okay. Old technology, I agree, but still it's something that was exposed to us because we aren't ready for the real spaceships that we've had since the 1940s. I say we, excluding everybody in this room. But
it's okay. They're the special humans that can handle it.
Problem with the human race is everybody's not ready for what's really going on.
But they are, because they're special, and they're better than everyone else. Obviously, they're not compensating for anything. They're the best!
I know this because every night I do tours, and I use $4,000 classified military night vision goggles that I build and sell and warranty, by the way. And when people see what's really going on up there, it blows their freaking minds. Because in an hour...
Is this supposed to be a stand-up routine? It's actually his one-man show titled Insufferable.
15 minutes, we're now seeing about 200 spacecraft every moonless night. 200 spacecraft, a dozen satellites, and a dozen airplanes. In case you think I don't know what a spacecraft is versus a satellite. I was a satellite and
he must know. He said it. He said satellites exist, so that means he can definitely tell what's a satellite and what's a spaceship.
Missile systems engineer for the Department of Defense for 10 years, by the way. I really do know what missiles and satellites are. I worked on them. I also worked on the predecessor technologies to the Mercury drives and gravitic drives that are being used in today's spacecraft.
Oh, okay, so you're just, like, making shit up then. Okay, because those aren't real, so... Okay. When he says he worked on this stuff, he means in his imagination, not like in the real world where we live.
Also, was on government think tanks for the same company as a 20...
Government think tanks for the same company. Is it a government think tank, or is it a company? Private think tank? That sentence doesn't make sense.
2-year-old, 22 to 24-year-old with no degree, with a bunch of 60-year-olds who are PhDs in military strategy.
Yeah, this very much feels like fantasies based on feelings of inadequacy where he needs to, like, compensate by being like, no, I'm very important. Even though I didn't go to college, I was on these think tanks with these brilliant PhDs, and I was actually smarter than them.
And I was invited because I was the
22 years old, not 2 years old.
Wunderkind. Back in '69, when I was in 5th grade, I was in the 99th percentile of every test that I ever took, and I went through the 5th grade and 6th grade curriculums in 5th grade, and at the end of 5th grade, UCLA was there to recruit me.
The end of 5th grade. The UCLA recruited me.
UCLA was there to recruit a little 11-year-old out of 5th grade. You think there might be something wrong with that?
Yeah. The premise, mostly.
If you're the parent of that child, you think you might be concerned? Well, my stepdad was very concerned because he was a conspiracy theorist before the CIA invented the term conspiracy theorist.
Well, they didn't really invent the term then, did they? You're kind of accidentally admitting that it's not just a thing made up to discredit you if he was the thing prior to that specific word for the thing, but okay. H. Baird, thanks for a 3-stream streak.
And he decided to take us out of California and move to Arizona. So I've been in Arizona since 1970. But it was interesting that I was probably weeks, if not months away from being stuck in Mars colony breeding program as a 12-year-old.
Okay, so within your fantasy, the government is using 12-year-olds for a, quote, breeding program. I don't even need to address that. I think it's pretty on the surface. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, old man? Like, what?
And if you speak with Laura Eisenhower, you'll find very similar stories. And when she and I sit down and talk about this kind of stuff, it's some pretty interesting parallels
I'd rather not listen to that. I'm already having a bad enough time.
that went on there. When I did get a chance to meet E.T. face to face, because I was 2 years old, I was given all mathematics through analytical geometry, and it was
He was given He's Terrence Howarding. He was given all mathematics. They gave it to him. Here's a box. It's math. It's full of math. We gave you the math. You have it. You have all the math. All your math are belong to us.
was a download that was not done face to face. I had no idea where I got it from. I just knew that when I entered kindergarten at 4 years of age, I'd already read book 1 and book 2 of Grimm's Fairy Tales and had my multiplication tables through 12s memorized.
Oh, that's what you mean by gave you math? Is the aliens beamed your 1 through 12 multiplication tables into your brain. Less impressive when you put it that way.
And at 4 years old, when you go into kindergarten with that kind of knowledge, and you see all these dumb kids around you.
These dumb children. These dumb literal infants. These idiots. Does he understand how weird it is to be on stage in what I assume is his 50s or something, talking about how much smarter he was than the other kids in kindergarten? Like, it wouldn't even matter if that was true. I don't think it probably was. He's projecting really weird stuff onto this whole story. But, like, even if this story was true, does he understand how pathetic it would be to be like, yeah, these other kindergarteners who didn't have aliens beam math into their brains were fucking idiots? Like, it just speaks to a profound insecurity that he needs to continually build himself up by comparing himself favorably to others in his stories and describing them as idiots, including literal kindergartners, you know, like one step above babies. Like, we're talking toddlers, little bit older than that, and he's like, these idiots, they didn't know math like I did. Like, they're kindergartners. They're going to school. What do you want from them? It's just weird. It's just weird, and you can tell he needs this. He needs to be seen as better for some reason.
I didn't know any better. I assumed they needed educating. Kindergarten teachers hate that. So I'm trying to teach all the kids how to read and do mathematics and all this kind of stuff.
Okay, wow. Okay, so within this narrative, he is now framing himself as Prometheus, who has come with fire from the heavens. He's going to teach in kindergarten. He Who needs to learn how to teach people? Pedagogy? What's that? Just beam it into their brains. What in the fuck? Okay, but again, this feels like a narrative that he's building where he's like, you can't trust the education system. The education system doesn't want to educate you. They want to indoctrinate you. I wanted to teach these children multiplication in kindergarten, and the teacher wouldn't let me. See? They're trying to hide the truth from you. You can see how he's framing himself in this story as the hero who has the secret knowledge, and there's an authority trying to prevent the populace, the stupid kindergartners, from learning to read. Okay. Just a Peach with a Tip says he was 12 when he moved, so about 67. Oh, geez, there you go.
The teachers going, no, green means bathrooms available, red means bathrooms not available.
Like, again, none of this story happened. I don't think he remembers any of this, but, like, there is a reason that in school you teach things in a particular order, right? Kindergarten is a lot of just, like, basic, hey, here's how we interact in a group. Here's how we interact as a class. I'm the teacher, so when I say it's time to do something, we do something. When you need to use the bathroom, raise your hand. Like, you're basically teaching the children how to do school, right? You're teaching them the basics of being able to have a structure that exists outside of your familial life, right? And there's a reason you need to do that before you teach children, or at least attempt to teach children, math or reading or whatever, because you need the basic structure of being able to sit down and listen and be attentive before you can actually start to build that knowledge base. But in this story, he's acting as though, like, why is this kindergarten teacher wasting their time when we could be learning math? And it's like, because this is how you teach children. They're a teacher. They went to school for it. You just got math beamed into your brain by fake aliens. H-Baird says, I prefer we, in-nurserate kids instead of indoctrinating them. That pun makes me groan.
And that's about as far as they were teaching kids at that time in kindergarten.
Yeah, you're in kindergarten, sir. You're in kindergarten. You might get the basics of, like, letters and stuff, but it's been a long time. I'm 31, you know? But, like, what I remember learning how to read more in, like, first grade, like, they might start to do, like, letters, noise, sounds and stuff, basic phonics in, like, kindergarten. But first grade is when they start to, like, teach you to, like, read and put the sounds together more. At least when I was a kid, that's what I remember. If I'm misremembering, let me know.
Not a lot of advanced programs. This was 1964, 63, 64, right in that area. So coming back up to Arizona, I found myself in a situation where I was breezing through school, and I got my high school diploma in 3 years. And then I decided I was going to get a degree in computer science, and I got a bachelor's degree in computer science in 17 months, summa cum laude, from university. So I'm not
What university? Can I see it?
bragging. I'm just merely stating some facts about the kind of people that government programs are interested in. Okay. If you are really good at mathematics, 3D analysis, empathetic reading, language studies, if all that is so easy for you, you can do it like this.
There's no comedian today, I don't think, unfortunately.
Then you were a target for them. By the way, Kreskin's ESP was put out by CIA types in order to see which kids.
Yeah, I was curious too, because he was saying he was in kindergarten in 1967. So he would, like, 12 or 13 years after that, he'd be going into college. So, like, 1980, 81. Were there computer science degrees in 1981? Maybe the beginnings of them. I genuinely don't know.
Telepathic.
Oh, it'd be a little earlier, because, yeah, he did say he got his high school graduation in 3 years instead of 4. So, like, 79, 80.
Abilities. Because they were looking for them. Because there was programs going on.
Pinball machine noises is here. All right, pinball's fun. You got yours in 82. Okay, so not impossible.
I got like an alarm every 15 minutes. It goes off, and then there's people always trying to call me. So
he said he got recruited by a college at like 11 or 12. He didn't say he went then.
What when I got retired in 19
Again, I don't think any of the story's true, but I'm trying to at least keep it straight.
90 from doing missile and satellite systems for the Department of Defense. I got into doing what we called the Inner Circle in Phoenix, which was ended up being 17 of us, and our gift was sympathetic reading ability, and our target was
Isn't this just the movie Real Genius? Vaguely. I like that movie. That movie's pretty good. That's a decent Val Kilmer comedy. Check out Real Genius.
Covering all cover-ups. So imagine, right? What a fun gig, right? So after just leaving,
Would you believe that I own Real Genius on 4K?
missile and satellite systems and other programs that I could see what was going on, and although I wasn't signed on those projects, I have this nasty habit of having a photographic memory. And that means that I could see elements of projects that are going on and talk about it because I didn't sign anything saying I wouldn't. That's the difference.
I don't believe they wouldn't give you a crazy NDA.
And this is why Jimmy calls me a whistleblower, okay? Because while I will never reveal one classified item from any project I ever signed my name.
Are eidetic memories real, by the way? I've never really looked into this. Have they ever done studies on this? Are photographic or eidetic memories a real thing, or is it just a thing people make up? I genuinely don't know.
As an oath that I would not disclose, I will tell you about everything else, okay? And what when I got done really maximizing the Inner Circle group, I got a visit. This was July of 2001 with the 3 ETs. And there was a 12-minute download and some number of seconds into my head. It was like the last scene of 2001: A Space Odyssey, only on steroids, on high speed.
I swear, every time one of these people is like, have you seen this movie? It's like that movie. Like, can they not come up with any, like, it just feels like if there's any delusion where you'd want to have some originality, it's this one, because it's like a sci-fi thing. You could write anything. But these people just go, you know that movie? It's like that movie. So lazy. Just a Peach says, so my dad's first degree was in science because no computer ones. He got his master in computer 4 years after Vietnam. Okay, well, there's that.
Like what Dave was getting was 16, and I was getting 78. Everybody remember a turntable? Right, okay. I know some of you are too young to know what that means.
Oh, fucking hell. People are aware of record players. They're not, like, they're a thing. People still buy records. My local grocery store has a record section. What the hell? Midnight, thanks for 55 months, says, pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? Rolls down window.
That gift, the gift that they gave me allows me to answer any question on any topic from the stream of all knowledge. I use this gift to help people. Today, my object is to help you. So while I disagree greatly with some of the things that were told to you today, I respect the people who gave the answers that they gave. I would like to answer some of those questions differently. And if you can remember the questions, then I will answer them. Because I can lead you down rabbit holes all day long, and it might not be the way you want to go. I do the same thing on my tour. I could lead you down rabbit holes of things that you don't know that would amaze you. But that might not be what you really wanted to know. And what I do is give you knowledge to defeat fear. Fear is the great stopper of all mankind.
Fear is the mind killer.
Fear and self-doubt is a mother. It really stops us from getting to reach our potential. So what I do is I give knowledge, because knowledge is what defeats fear, not love, not joy, knowledge. If you know there's no boogeyman because you've looked 4 times with the lights on in your room, and then you turn a light off, is there a boogeyman? No, because you checked. So there's no logical way you can argue that there could be. Knowledge defeats fear. I have no fear of anything. I've defeated the IRS. I got rid of my social security number back in 19.
Oh no, this guy. It's crazy when you see people on the show and you're like, oh, they're gonna get in a lot of trouble. Don't say that.
99.
Don't
Knowledge defeats fear. I have no fear of anything. I've defeated the IRS. I got rid of my social security number back
say
in.
that. Literally, canonically crazier than the Joker. Crazier than the Joker.
1999. I defeated the cancer that tried to kill me. Stage 4 prostate cancer, metastasized throughout my bones. Kicked its butt in 6 or 7 months. Baphomet attacked me and tried to kill me. Took 20 pounds off of me in 2 days. Tried to kill me.
I don't think you cannot lose 20 pounds in 2 days. That's literally impossible. That's literally impossible unless someone cut your arm off. Like, unless you were chopping parts off your body, you cannot lose 20 pounds in 2 days. That's impossible. Very aggressive weight loss, like, would be 10 pounds in a month. 2 days? Yeah, that's not metabolically possible. That's not a thing your body can do.
I won. I'm still here. I'm not saying I did any damage to a demon system because it's really powerful, but I survived it. And I came back even stronger. So I have answers that nobody here today has been able to say or give. And I respect everybody's opinion, but I want to give some different answers.
He's just a little better than everyone else.
So I would like to start the whole rest of this session doing nothing but answering questions. And generally...
Oh, that's so funny. So he's not even going to give like a normal talk. He's just going to bloviate about how much better he is than everyone else and then say, everything else everyone else said is bullshit. I'll answer your questions, but better. Fuck all the other speakers. That's so shitty. That is so shitty to do at a conference. Holy hell. Like, way to talk down to and shit on every other speaker. That's so funny.
When I do these kinds of things, there's about 1,000 people in the audience, and there's a microphone over here, there's a microphone over here, there's a microphone over here, and everybody lines up and they give their questions and I give their answers. But we don't really have that many people here today. So what I'd like to do is have a microphone up front for the purposes, maybe right here on this corner. And if everybody would just kind of squeeze in who wants to ask a question, okay? If you do that, I appreciate you doing that. And it's right here, this one? Okay, oh, no, don't turn it on, but set it on the seat and have it ready to turn on. Okay, that'd be great. And did we roll off the low mids about 3 dB? Okay. I'm an engineer, so, you know, I do that too. What we want to do is have everybody who wants to know anything about anything, and I mean anything. I will answer any question on any topic. The only restriction is your question cannot resolve to an individual, except me. Okay? You can't ask me about what Joan did last week because of privacy. I could probably...
The audacity to be like, I can answer any question about any domain. Please, ask away.
Probably tell you because the stream has the answer, but I'm not allowed to protect Joan's privacy. Does this make sense? But I'm here to
like
be able,
cosmic HIPAA.
able to say, yes, I'll answer that, or no, I won't. So your question can resolve to me,
This guy's the shittiest Batman villain.
But I want to hear your questions about anything, especially if that question is the answer to which is going to help you defeat a fear and get closer to reaching your
He's the Bloviator!
potential, especially when your potential is helping other people. Okay? That's why I live. That's what ET told me to do. That's what I do. I manifest my own reality. As you can imagine, look, if I can kick cancer's butt, then I can do anything. I'm standing here on stage, talking at the biggest conferences in the country and biggest podcasts, and I have my own channel, my own TV channel, as in my own server and my own bandwidth and my own subscriber costs and my own.
A website, sir. You mean you run a website that you have people subscribe to. Also, you just said there aren't that many people here, but now you're saying it's one of the biggest conferences in the world? What?
Own TV shows and I'm on Rumble, and it's like all this kind of stuff. Why? It's to get information out. That's the only reason I do this. And I do make enough to pay the rent, and that's really all I care about. I'm not trying to get wealthy. I'm a pilot. I don't have an airplane. I'd love to have an airplane, but that's not what's really important. Getting you the answers is what's important. So please start lining up, or I'm just going to chatter.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm with you, Michael.
As soon as he threatened with him talking more, someone was like, hold on. I'll say something, if only for a moment of reprieve from your voice, sir.
Seriously.
2 questions. So I'm a tour guide, and I get asked a lot of questions, and my answer is the gray area. Well, I wasn't there, so I don't know. Or we see reality very different sometimes than each other. So I got 2 questions for you. One is, I know you have a different opinion on the Holocaust, and I.
Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Can you believe that this bloviating narcissistic hack is a Holocaust denier and/or revisionist? Wow. I
know you're very mathematical, logical, scientific, so that's my.
Except he's not. He's just a douchebag. That's good. It's good I can take the safety off now. I always try to enter with some caution, be a little nice, but the moment they're a Holocaust denier, you don't have to be nice anymore. That's the rules.
First question, how do you perceive what went down? And my second question is your idea of what may occur in 2027. Those are my
what a fucking monster.
2 questions.
Really good stuff. Okay. So, yes, thank you, Saul. I appreciate it. All right.
The fact that he even laughs about the question.
So the first question is the Holocaust. Okay, so what really happened?
I'm just preparing myself emotionally. I'm sorry. I will skip through this if this isn't resolved within a minute or 2. I'm probably going to skip past it because there's a reason I don't cover conspiracy theorists that do outright Holocaust denial. I've talked about this before. It's not entertaining. It's not really informative. It's just horrifying. So I try not to do it. Skifazoa says you can be mean to them because they don't have a soul.
Here's what really happened. If you ever watch Monk, here's what really happened.
Please don't bring up Tony Shalhoub in your Holocaust denial rant.
Prisoners of war.
Okay. He's going to do this revisionist thing. Okay.
All countries had prisoners.
Okay. I'm already going to skip it. I can't. There might be something informative to his beliefs there, but I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry.
I cleverly hid right in the middle. I don't expect you to believe anything I say, thinking and talking about something that did not exist. Emmanuel existed. The letter J did not.
Turn your phone off, you dick.
So there was no James, Jehovah, Jesus, Jeremiah. There was no J. Jacob, Jacob. You heard me say that earlier. I do know a little bit of Hebrew. That was a name that was changed to Israel. Israel is not a country. Israel is not a religion. Israel is a family.
Ah!
It is a bloodline from a family formerly named Jacob, who then became Israel. There was no country of Israel until 1948. All right. The true downline, by the way, of Emmanuel is the Palestinian. It's actually the Judeans, which is mistakenly now called Palestinians.
Let's move ahead again, shall we?
That was which one understood life best on earth, and which one could see the life in the trees? Which group could see the life in the rock? Which group, folks? Which group on earth could do that? The Maya.
Do you think that there's any side effects of me listening to insane people all day for years? It's probably not good for me mentally, right? Like, this is gonna really come and kick me in the ass one day.
And the Maya were taken off-world by their creator, and this is in their own lore, by the way. If you get to meet a true Mayan in Ecuador or Peru, they will tell you that their creator gods took them back into space. This is why there's no trace of them anywhere, no remains of a 2, 3, 4, 5 million person city on Earth. They're gone. They're just vanished. And no, it wasn't
That was probably more the conquistadors, but you know.
the rapture. What it was, though, was their creator, which was the feathered serpent beings. They took the Maya back out. And that's who was operating Oumuamua. My understanding is they hang out by the Oort cloud.
I'd hang out by the Oort cloud. Why not? Where else are you gonna hang out in space?
Okay, that's my understanding. That's my knowledge. That's my information. It's difficult to prove that because I personally don't even have an airplane. Although I am a pilot, I certainly don't have a spaceship to get
He's very upset about not having an airplane. He's mentioned it multiple times.
out to the Oort cloud. That said, this is what happened to the Maya. So that just left 4 of the created human types on Earth. And we didn't stay separated. No, we traveled, we roamed, we warred, we killed, we intermingled, we interbloodlined and all that. And that's why we
Oh, he thinks race is a thing. He's talking about race like it's a biological reality. That's not good.
have
I'm not surprised that the Holocaust denier is into race as a pseudoscientific concept, but
everybody in this room is some combination of Asian, African,
yeah, he's just saying it.
Scandinavian, and Arab.
Scandinavian.
Every one of us. That's why the bloodlines are so limited. You got A, you got B, you got AB, you got O. Hello. Okay, does that not make sense? Yes, that does make sense mathematically.
No, blood types are not a race thing.
Okay, now we have come to the point where we need to be together, these 4 formerly warring, interbreeding varieties of human. We need to get together and agree to stop the warring, the killing of babies, the killing of adults, the killing of people of different color. We got to stop the killing to get to high school. This is from E.T. Why are we still here and the Mayans get to fly out there? Because that's bitching. Because we're still in kindergarten killing each other. And until that's fixed, we're not joining high school. Well, when are the ETs going to come down and tell me? They're not. Until we, as a collective, Now, you guys, you're all smart. You're not out killing other people, but there's a lot of people on the planet that are. Okay? When my good buddy, Mr. Kirk, okay, when my good buddy gets killed just for saying his opinion.
Wait, is he trying to claim that he was friends with Charlie Kirk?
And trying to convince other people that maybe they're not logical at all and should listen to his opinion. And he gets killed. Does this tell you that we're grown up and ready to join high school? Not even. Not even. We are not there. And I would really hope that we show by example, we, the people in this room.
He's never met Charlie Kirk in his life, right? Even though he called him his good buddy.
Show by example that it's better to care for those that we disagree with than it is to shoot them. Next question.
What are the species on 3i Atlas and what are their intentions?
The species of 3i Atlas is what is the species of 3i Atlas? Okay, they're ironically bluish combination.
It's like when you have a big guy and you nickname him Tiny. It's ironic.
Wow, it's kind of, I've never been asked this question. I just asked it and I just got the answer. So this is surprising to me too.
Sometimes I blow my own balls off with my bullshit.
They're like a combination of amphibian and fish. From what I can see, it's like
how can they be an amphibian and fish?
They're a combination of amphibian and fish.
What are you talking about? Amphibians are already partially aquatic. What they're amphibians. What do you mean it's a combination of amphibian and fish? They're an amphibian, but they can't be on land. So like fish. What?
And we messed up their ship, punched a hole in it, and it's spewing out strange isotopes of carbon dioxide, which is its fuel.
Its fuel is carbon dioxide?
They're oxygen breathers. Carbon dioxide is 2 parts oxygen, 1 part carbon. And in this case, they're using carbon-14 and oxygen 12. So this is just coming to me just now. So you know, you just have to roll with it because that's what the answer is, coming from the stream of all knowledge. So
just whatever bullshit comes into his brain is the stream of all knowledge.
They're using an isotope of CO2 that holds power.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a molecule. Am I crazy? Isotopes are like a variety of an element, right? Not a molecule. Am I wrong? It's okay if I'm wrong. I genuinely don't know. But I thought an isotope was you can have an isotope of an element, but anyway.
Power that we haven't realized here yet. And our Space Force felt threatened by this ship for some reason. I kind of doubt that they got shot at. But, you know, we got some cowboys in Space Force. And so they destroyed the ship and killed the beings on board, destroyed its ability to be handled properly because it leaks now. And that's why it's going through our solar system. It's passing, we're on the other side of the sun from Mars, but it's passing by Mars like now.
And what are their intentions, the beings on the ship?
There's no way to know what the intentions were of the beings on the ship because we killed them. So I can't pull that information up because now.
Why? You know we killed them, but you don't know their intentions? Seems kind of arbitrary where you're deciding you can get information from. Like, it's all information you should have no access to, but some of it you can get and some of it you can't.
Now you're asking me about an individual. and they're not around. So I
So-
know it seems convenient, but
So
it
they're
is what the question is. So
So
It seems convenient.
everyone on the ship is dead.
that's what my understanding is. Yes. Does
So
that bum you out?
is the ship no longer operation? Like it's
The
just
ship is
drifting?
no longer functional in the way it was
O12 is unstable. It has a half-life of a couple zeptoseconds. We just don't have the alien technology that can stabilize it, obviously.
designed to be function. That's correct. It's
See, I can say bullshit too.
now on a course that the leak is modifying. It's on a course that was pre-programmed, but its leak is modifying that course, so it's not following the course it was intended to follow.
And so we attacked their ship.
Yeah.
And killed them.
When it was outside of the solar system, yeah. By the way, if you don't know, we have ships that do 100C.
I'm sorry. You just said that we have ships that can do 100 times the speed of light. C is the speed of light in a vacuum. No.
100C. Okay? C is the speed of light.
Yeah, we know. How are you claiming they do that, sir? How?
As you know it, which is not really a constant, but for us it kind of is, because our galaxy, our sun,
The speed of light in a vacuum is a constant.
and our planets are
That's
all
why C is specifically the speed of light in a vacuum and not just the speed of light.
doing a particular movement, and that's what defines the speed of light for us. Speed of light's a variable, but it's a sum of
C is the
vectors.
What?
It wasn't SSP anymore. It was Space Force. And it was the faction that is not controlled by the Air Force, which is, you'd think, the good guys. But there's no benevolent group or species, no malevolent group or species. Therefore, we've got bad guys in that too. Okay? Very important maxim to understand. Rule 2. Fear made that happen, and it's a great stopper. Here we had a chance to communicate with I don't know what they were until now. I just, because you asked the question, kind of got a glimmer of what they look like.
Where did they come from?
Hydrate.
Outside the solar system, beyond the solar plow, beyond the solar edge. It looks like it's from the from around the Cassiopeia star group is what I'm coming here. Is what I'm seeing now. From that direction, whether it was from one of the stars in Cassie or whether it was just from that direction, I can't know, because that information is no longer really available because it's been so messed up by us. But that's the direction that I'm seeing it, that it came from. Good questions, by the way. Really good questions. I really appreciate these because I don't know. See, I have a philosophy of life, and I said this on the opener. My philosophy of life is very simple. I either know or I don't know, and I ask me, and therefore I know.
Can he be hired for children's parties? I think he'd scare the children.
Or I try that and it doesn't work and I still don't know. And that's my whole philosophy of life. I either know or I don't know, and then I know or I don't know. Makes things kind of easy. I hope you can appreciate that. Next question.
It's not really a
I have-
philosophy.
Of about 1,000 questions.
Let's start with
Oh,
one.
she buys this 100%. I want to know the personality of the person that hears this insane narcissist talk and goes, oh yeah, I need answers from this guy. Like, who's the counterpart? Because, like, you know, it's like a puzzle piece. Like, he's this narcissistic nutbag. There's got to be someone that fits that puzzle piece, right? And is like, yes, I am so desperate for answers, I'll accept them from anyone overconfident enough to provide them endlessly.
One.
Before Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
Oh, Jesus! Come on!
just a little over a week before it, July 28, 1945, B-25 strikes the tallest building in New York, just like 9/11.
Yep.
And
Only
in my
that really happened, and there were no planes that hit the towers on
9/11 out of nowhere on the bingo card.
9/11.
Well, actually,
There were. I've seen videos of it, actually.
those were sent by Rabbi Dov Zakheim. I actually know he took them to, he bought them in early.
What? Oh. The amount of anti-Semitism in this room is just a lot.
In 2001, and he did.
And two of them
And-
flew and two of them didn't, and none of them hit the towers. All we saw was 3D animation over and over and over. And I have so much video evidence on this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we have more than 50 videos of the strikes, penetrations, and witnesses of seeing the burning plane
and the
inside.
only
just like
witnesses that were reported were CIA assets. There were no
Fight! 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 Oh no, I skipped away! Fuck!
and was born. Combination of, wow, it's kind of, I've never been asked this question. I
Where
just asked
were we?
operations substituting the planes.
planes. I've been a pilot for 40.
Close.
Good questions, by the way. Really good questions. I really appreciate these because
28, 1945.
We're close to
and two of them didn't, and none were CIA assets. There were nobody that was just a regular New Yorker.
Yeah, there
Every
was
one
a-
of them were CIA assets, and they lied to us.
That's convenient that you get to just like dismiss the testimony of all the people there by just being like, no, they're all CIA. All of the thousands and thousands and thousands. Honestly, it's this entire city of New York, millions of eyewitnesses. They're all CIA agents. The CIA payroll is eating up a quarter of the national budget.
Because there were no planes that hit the towers, and there was no plane that hit the Pentagon, and there was no plane in Shanksville. And I
Well-
have the video of the missile that hits the Pentagon, and I can prove by the own video they showed us
Mhm.
that no planes hit the Twin Towers. Because if there's one thing I know about, it's airplanes. I've been a pilot for 45 years,
If he brings up Building 7, we're all getting laid.
and I know about heavies, and I know about physics. And if you take a
He knows physics.
heavy, which can only fly at about 325 knots at 1,100 feet AGL, otherwise the wings fall off. You can't do 550 miles an hour in a heavy at 1,000 feet up, which they reported. So what happened was two planes took off. They got brought down in Ohio, taken into a NASA facility that's a giant vacuum chamber, and they sucked the air out and they killed the people who were on those two planes, which amounted to
What?
about 64 people on two planes. 111 never took off, and 77 never flew into the Pentagon.
I agree
Fact.
with regard. Yeah.
Fact. He said fact at the end like Dwight, so it's true. Fact.
Pentagon, 93, 77, absolutely. I actually happen to know that Rabbi Dov Zakheim bought those two jets. They ran a Northwoods operation, substituting the planes at Stewart Air Force Base. Those were UAVs. They were military UAVs reinforced with missiles at systems.
They reinforced the planes with missiles. What does that mean in her head? They reinforced the planes with missiles. Like they took missile parts and they put them on the plane? It's just such cartoon logic. Thanks, Bravo Needs Bacon.
Planning Corporation, and they took off from Stewart in place of the two commercial planes that were not hijacked, but the code 7500 had been placed. And
Are you
those
saying
were,
they squawked 7,500?
yeah, a Northwoods operation.
Yeah. And that can happen anywhere. Do you really believe that people called on their telephones
No, of
on
course
those
not.
airplanes?
That's my area of expertise. I said that day of.
Ooh, she has an area of expertise too. Isn't it incredible? All of the people in this room are experts. You know who says they're experts? They do. So it's gotta be true.
Of course they didn't.
But there were still no airplanes, and there's no evidence of any
We
airplanes.
have more than 50 videos, spontaneous videos that were
There's nothing better than an argument where everyone's wrong.
posted day.
That's the best to watch, isn't it? What's wrong with me? Why do I like this? Why? What's wrong with me? I love it. I love it so much.
Of and just after. These were spontaneous.
3D
not-
animations, every one of them, and I can prove it. Every one of them, and I can prove it. You
I can prove it, Batman. I can prove it. You'll see. You'll see, Batman.
can't prove it
I can
because
prove it.
you don't have the videos that actually happen.
Yeah, I do. It's more than 50.
Well, great. Because you don't
Spontaneous
have
from
them
the
here
streets.
because this is my show, and you don't have them here.
He said it. He said it. He said it. He's the one on stage, lady. All right? He's got the microphone. You gotta let him talk bullshit. Next year, maybe you can talk your bullshit.
Here. Susan, if you want to send them to me, and I'm open to everything. If you want to send them
Except right now, because I'm in charge.
to me,
Mhm.
I will give you a card and you can send me what you have. I
Sure.
will send you what I have, including the hurricane that was parked, including the beam weapons that were
Sure.
used, including the
Yep.
micro nukes placed by Israel in there, including
Yes.
the thermite that was used,
The micro nukes!
That's
including
correct.
the
Micro nukes and thermite. That feels a bit overkill, doesn't it? If I'm planning 9/11, I go either thermite or micro nukes. I don't think we need both. This is overkill.
nose cone poking out the other side of the video, undamaged, which a bird can't even accomplish, let alone a steel reinforced building, then we can talk about those
Okay,
things.
then tell me about July 28, 1945, when the B-25 actually did strike and penetrate
Yes.
the Empire State Building. My
Yes.
mother
it
and her
sl-
sisters.
And it collapsed the plane and it slid down the
No, it
side,
didn't.
and you had
No,
a
it didn't.
tail section.
No,
I've
that's not
got
true.
the pictures of it.
I have the
Yes,
pictures.
you did.
Those were the fake AI recent pictures that you have. You don't
No,
have the original.
You have fake pictures.
No, the original
You know you.
pictures from 1945.
Susan, you
newspapers-
have fake pictures.
No, sir.
I know
No.
about this stuff. Why? My mom was at Pearl Harbor.
My-
What in the fuck does your mom being at Pearl Harbor have anything to do with your firsthand knowledge of 9/11? Hannah dies of laughter on the bingo card. Yeah, that one got me. You got me. The bloviator got me again. Ah. The bloviator is my nemesis, Mothwoman. I'm a moth. Lennon Cat with 40 bits says, well, my father was there for the JFK assassination. My grandfather shot Archduke Ferdinand, so I know more about conspiracies than you do. Okay. We're good.
Mom was
She
there
was
at
7
the
years
Empire
old,
State Building.
chased by the Zeros. I know all about the World War II stuff, that whole era. And I'm telling you, the B-25 crashed into the side of the World.
Spokane Dogman says this is my brain in a few years.
Well, game night was a success.
Peter.
Oh, it's I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor.
I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. Oh, I'm a tumor.
Of the Empire State Building, and it had the tail section still sticking out. Why? Because an airplane is a hollow aluminum tube that crushes when it meets steel reinforced concrete. Period. Physics. Done.
Sir, I
Hydrate.
Reinforced concrete. Period. Physics. Done.
sir,
This guy's insufferable. I like that he did a mic drop, but like he doesn't own the microphone, so he respectfully placed it on the ground and walked away.
I also study physics at Harvard. Okay, and I have the photos, the original photos.
She studies physics at Harvard. They don't know they don't let her in or anything. She just kind of sits around and reads her conspiracy books, but they let her do it.
From multiple places, the FDNY, the New York Times, and all the
Hey,
photos
Susan,
from day of.
Guess what? Your question's been answered. Please step down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Get out of here, bitch. He says he's done with you. This is sad.
Okay.
Very
Next question.
fascinating.
Next question. Next question. I'm happy to compare evidence at any time, you guys. TikTok banned me? I know how to get it done, don't I? Don't I?
He just got banned from TikTok mid-rant. That's beautiful.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate your appreciation, even if you disagree with me. I appreciate it that you were sitting here.
Can we get a bingo check? Yeah, I don't even think we've marked anything yet. Jesus Christ. Overt anti-Semitism, obviously. Believes they speak to aliens regularly. Incorrectly believes evidence is self-evident. Dimensions beyond our own. Conspiracy theorist tells on themselves. 100%. Aliens did it for teaching that guy math, I guess. Staggering levels of hypocrisy, sure. 9/11 out of nowhere, wherever that is on the bingo card. It's around here somewhere. 38. Yeah, idiot says they're a genius for him talking about how much smarter he is than everyone. Alright, is there anything else? I genuinely don't know. This has been a lot. Hannah might die of laughter. We do have that one. Where's false flag? I'll put that for the 9/11 thing. Which number's that? Hannah puts head in hands. Sure. I'm sure that happened. Oh, Hannah mentions Blu-rays, of course. False flag. Cool beans. I think we did it. And yeah, word salad. Oh, uses AI. We did see the stupid cardboard cutout, and I counted it last time, so I gotta count it this time. Okay. Caught up. You're making a sandwich. You have ham, bread, and mayo. What do you miss? Yeah, ha 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 ha. Funny, funny. You can't get me to say it.
You're listening and keeping your mind open, because it's only when you see the evidence that you know. It's all.
Jitara says, okay, so even if we accept that a plane is just hollow aluminum tube, we should consider that this hollow aluminum tube weighs many thousands of pounds. So without doing any math, I feel like something that big and heavy is going fast enough, it would do some serious structural damage. Yeah, force is mass times acceleration. So he's not even talking about the speed. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating how smart they think they are. And like, I'm not smart, but I'm smarter than this guy. Racist disbelief of history. That's not what the space says. The space isn't racist disbelief of history, it's racist disbelief of historical achievement. So it would have to be like the pyramids or something, which is not what he said.
Or when the mathematics is so overwhelming that there's no other choice. And a lot of 9/11 is that. Just like a lot of October 7 is that, yeah. Go ahead with your question.
Yes, hey, Michael. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
taking the question.
Sorry to wait.
So it's a multi-pronged question, and basically, if you could share with your knowledge of what you know on the subject, it's really circling around disclosure. We know pretty, I think, strongly that there is a cabal that answers to
Cabal on the bingo card?
an alien group. I would
Yes, believe sci-fi tech exists.
refer to as the Elohim for Hebrew, but you could use Anunnaki. We know that they're in Antarctica, Kazakhstan, Israel, and this Elohim worshiping cult that has a very bad case of Stockholm syndrome. When will we see, in your opinion, the disclosure that for the last, let's just say 6,000 to 7,000 years, even though we know it's probably up to Atlantis, 12,000 years,
Atlantis on the bingo
that
card?
they've been running the show? And when will we, acknowledge that so that we can start to heal as a humanity?
That's a really awesome question. I love the way you worded it, and I love the way your heart works.
I love
Never
the way
met you
your
before.
heart works, says the Holocaust denier. We haven't had Planet X yet, have we? We have not.
Right? Okay. I'm not paid to say that, right? Okay. So the question is, when are we going to get the truth about who really runs the planet? I think is, if I compare
What if there isn't an answer to that? What if there is no singular entity or person running the planet? Because that's the answer.
paraphrase your question and shorten it, that would probably be what it is. And we know that it is the Revelation 2:9, Revelation
It's a lot of people with power all jockeying for more power.
3:9
It's kind of a mess.
fake Jews who are
Oh, well, there's that.
running things around the planet, because the real Jews, the downline of Yahweh, are basically the Palestinians. So the banks and everything of power have been controlled by the same certain group of people that I call the familiar few, so that I don't get banned on YouTube and TikTok when I talk
Planet X would be indirectly stated. The Anunnaki are from Nibiru, Planet X. I would still say no, since they haven't mentioned it.
about this.
I know they've said Anunnaki, but I think they'd have to mention the planet more specifically for me to count it.
That familiar few has been creating middlemen and robbing wealth out of 1,000 cultures in its time and been kicked out of every one of them. Now, my
This
good
is
friend,
just anti-Semitism.
Charlie Kirk,
He keeps saying his good friend Charlie Kirk. I don't believe he knew Charlie Kirk. He's just name dropping, and he's name dropping an asshole.
was just talking over the last 3 months about this very thing. And this is the only reason I'm bringing it up, is because it relates to your question, okay? So Charlie was all on board with taking money from the same people that have been running the planet into the ground for the last X thousand years. We'll just call it X thousand, and we won't argue about it, right? So Charlie started saying, you know what, you guys with the money doing this, you're the ones responsible for the open borders. You're the ones responsible for pornizing our country. You're the ones that's responsible
Pornizing?
for abortions. You're the ones that's responsible for everything that's keeping us away from God. And Charlie was right.
Jesus.
But here's what was easy.
Does the hotel know they're running a Nazi convention, by the way? I don't know if they know.
Easy to see for me, and there's people on the other side smarter than me. I saw President Kirk in 2032.
Oh, fuck off.
President
That's genuinely crazy.
Charlie,
That might be the craziest thing he's ever said. And he said a lot of crazy stuff today.
Kirk in 2032, and he had 2 generations in Gen Z and whatever they're calling themselves, the next Gen A or whatever they're calling themselves after that. He had them moving away from Israeli dogma. He had them moving away from they can do no wrong. He had them moving away from, shouldn't we concentrate on America? And what the hell
Yes, he would have been old enough by then. You just have to be 35.
are our Congress critters doing with Israeli passports? Okay, so he had that kind of thing going on, and Mossad took a 5-man team and took him out.
Oh, wow. He's not only claiming that Israel did it, he's claiming to know the makeup of the special ops team that did it? Wow, that's nonsense.
That's what happened. And so to answer your question, when is that going to change? As soon as we get that try shit like this ever again, we got to put them down.
Isn't it crazy that the people who don't think the Holocaust happened are also the people who want it to happen so bad? Huh.
We got to make sure that that's not acceptable. Free speech is free speech. And I can get shut down again and say, cracker, kike, nigger.
Whoa! Strike 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, and 57. What the fuck? I don't know if James is going to invite this guy back. I don't think James is going to invite this guy back to the fucking convention. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, why did you let this man have the microphone? Jesus Christ.
Bones and words will never hurt me is what.
Probably time to move on from this guy for pretty obvious fucking reasons. God, and they still let him talk. He keeps talking for like another half hour.
5 exabytes. So that's exabyte's 1,000 petabytes.
Wait, are they trying to get him off the stage at this point? Do they have to like come up and stop him? Because Jesus.
And
maybe don't invite Nazis to your convention. It's almost like they take it over.
Right now we have.
And like James himself has said some really questionable shit about like the Holocaust as well, or at least implied it. But like this is so mask off even by their own standards.
A whole group that are out.
Let's see this guy hopefully get kicked off the fucking stage, and we'll move on to someone who's not a monster.
They're trying to tell you that there are not 5 fingers on my hand. Okay? And you all know damn well there is. Right? There's no hidden one. There's no 6th finger like back when we were on Tiamat. That's not there. So we are dealing with right now this battle of information trying to dissuade us and pull us from common sense, goodness, right.
Goodness and right, says the guy who just did a bunch of slurs and doesn't think the Holocaust happened.
And I'll call it God's law into other things. And
I think the most shocking thing about human beings is our ability to rationalize and believe ourselves to be really good people when we're just like the absolute fucking worst. Really terrifying.
That has to end. All right. Is that good? Are we wrapping up? You guys, I want to say thank you so much. If you're interested in my book, it's $20. You can pick one up over here.
It's $20.
If you want to know more about what I do, I have websites, domains, I run tours, all that kind of stuff. I'm happy to talk to you about it. Just pick up a card over here off the table, and I will start an interchange with you on a one-to-one level in email that I think you'll find.
Please go fuck yourself.
All right. Thank you again for coming tonight.
All right, everybody. What do you guys think of Michael O. Sedona? Oh yeah.
Don't know the name of the book, but Michael O. Sedona is his name, and yes, shilling scamming for trying to sell his fucking book.
So, I've known Michael for a couple years now, and of course, Wow, 6 years. So Michael invited me to come to his conference in Sedona, Arizona, and we've been friends ever since. He has an amazing ability.
Oh wow, he's still just like the guy said everything he just said, and James is just like, yeah, he's my buddy. Oh my fuck, these people are all monsters.
Able to download information. How many petabytes or whatever bytes?
I figured out that the information, in order to just have the
I have a feeling that all the data on this guy's computer are petabytes, if you know what I mean.
key, okay, just to have the key is about 5 exabytes. So that's a exabyte's 1,000 petabytes.
So Michael O. Sedona is a national treasure, and I want to say thank you for coming all the way out here. Thank you, audience members, for joining us today for the first day of the Super Soldier Activation Conference. And we've got some more festivities
He was the closer for the day. Jesus.
for you tonight. Of course, if you have a VIP ticket, you can go get some food really soon. You go over to the lobby bar. And then that's about it. We're going to do an hour break for that. And then we're going to have another 30-minute break. Get dressed. We're going to come back over here. We'll do a little disco party. We'll show off our costumes. There'll be some prizes. Maybe we discuss maybe giving out a T-shirt or.
I want to see their super soldier costumes.
Yes. And then afterward, we're going to go to the pool and see if we can find some UFOs out there. Okay. What do you guys think? Does that sound good? All right. So I know he may be a little tired, but there's still more fun. There's got to be more fun for you. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna say something now. Yeah, we're gonna have supper at 7:00. Who's getting hungry? I'm really hungry now.
Sheesh. All right, next video.
Hi guys, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for the delay. Having
Day 2.
a few technical issues. I believe we have worked miracles.
Apparently Michael's book is titled Wake Up and Do Something. Oh, lovely. That's what you want to hear from a Nazi. Cool.
And it is happening. So I want to just give everybody coming in. We invite everybody to come into the speaker room now, please. There we go. We got it. Yeah, that's okay. And everybody, we got the beautiful Laura Worley here. Everybody, enjoy.
Oh, we're about halfway through the stream, so I'm probably going to go use the bathroom real quick before we get into this next bit. I'll do my little calls to action, too. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, like the stream. I'd appreciate it. If you want to help support the stream, you can always be a member on YouTube, a subscriber on Twitch, or gift either, respectively. While I'm gone, Chair will tell you about, Gary Busey and Hyder in the house. He's a hider in the house. He's a hider in the house. He's hiding in the house. In this in the image he's outside of the house, but I assure you he's in the house. Anyway, be right back. You found Michael's website. He's described himself as a scientist, a pilot, a physicist, an inventor, and a first-hand contactee. Yeah, of course he is. Of course. Is it a documentary? Of course it is. You think Gary Busey would be in a fiction film? He's above that. He never tells lies. Only truths. Like Quigley. No! It will stay. You will stay, Gary Busey. We got him. Be right back. I'm back.
Woo. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Do you want me to wait for a minute or? Take a few deep breaths together. Ready?
Look at the book cover. Of course.
There you go. Difficulty this morning, but I think we're ready to begin. So if all of you don't know me, my name is Laura Worley, and what I do for basically my calling and mission is to help bring out the darkness into the light. And that is about showing what the cabal, the deep state cabal, the satanic cabal,
deep state and satanic on the bingo card,
is involved with.
Is this TwitchCon? So far no one hurt themselves jumping into a poorly planned foam pit, so it can't be TwitchCon.
A level that maybe you're not familiar with.
Also, thanks for following.
And that's saying a lot, because I know most of you do. So we're going to get into what I've discovered, not only as a survivor of MK Ultra, but working with
MK Ultra on the bingo card.
100 survivors all over the world at different ages, different geographics, and different cultural beliefs. And what I found is what I'm going to present, that they all had the same thing. So today, basically, I'm going to share what the cabal doesn't want you to know, and they especially don't want survivors to know what I'm going to present today. This information got my husband killed, and before he was murdered by the cult.
Imperfect Rebus says, had a story idea about people who return from isekai, other worlds, to our own, more mundane. Super soldiers are definitely an inspiration. That could be an interesting series. And they just have to deal with, like, what do you do when the adventure is over? How do you even deal with that? Yeah.
There were 2 years of nonstop attacks spiritually by every highest level of Illuminati, Freemason, Druids.
Oh, Illuminati Freemasons on the bingo card.
Using...
They don't have Druids on the bingo card.
Ritual, sacrifice 13 days to come against us, to kill us in 10 million different ways. And eventually, it worked, because they came after us in every single way that you could possibly, except take your life. And then eventually they did win in that area. So the thing is, they thought that they would stop me.
She needs to take a breath. It sounds like she's like out of breath. I think it's just anxiety, but she needs to like, you're fine, slow down.
By doing...
We're playing bingo, yeah.
That. And the case is, it's made me stronger because I don't have anything to lose. So if they think they were going to shut me up, it's never going to happen. Thank you. Thanks. Many of you, I know what curses are, but what I find is that most of the world doesn't know what curses are. And we are being...
The concept of a curse is like incredibly prevalent in pop culture, in media, in mythos. I think people know what a curse is.
Humanity is being overtaken by curses. And so I want to share a little bit about that.
Oh, she brought a presentation. That's good.
I'm sure most of you know what curses are. Would that be correct? Most of you know what they are. Probably a lot of you don't really know what that means. So after being cursed for almost 2 years, after my second book came out, I had no idea what was going to happen to my husband and I, because I revealed something that we're going to get into. I had no idea that it was going to cause the hell that it did. I want to start with this information because if we're not aware of curses, then we can't protect ourselves. And it's not just survivors, it's everyone. Humanity is being cursed all the time by the cabal, witches and warlocks, whatever you want to call them. But they curse all the time. They curse us as a nation, as a world, as a country, whenever they want their way. So right now, think to
If I thought there were a bunch of witches and stuff, I'd probably try to learn magic powers to fight them instead of just going to a conference. But that's just me. Jitara with 50 bits says there's an anime called Frieren Beyond Journey's End that explores just that concept, Hannah. The what happens after the adventure stuff, not the super soldier stuff. Though by this point you've probably had a bunch of people recommend it to you already. I don't think so.
yourself, do you have a problem? And it's kind of, you can't really fix it. My suggestion.
Just so everyone knows, there is a thunderstorm coming into my area right now, so if the stream suddenly stops, it's the power going out. Just a warning. Should be fine, but in case everything cuts out, that's why.
Is that you find out if you have some fallen angels attached to you and a curse, because fallen angels will always be attached to the problem. It could be health, it could be depression, it could be marital, it could be relationship, finances. You will always find a fallen angel. Sometimes you will find the curse, but
I find it so fascinating, the cosmology of the kind of person that thinks that nothing bad or unpleasant just ever happens. It's always a demon. Like, how do they think the mechanics of anything works where nothing bad can just happen? Either due to, like, circumstance or randomness or even your own actions. Bad things can and do happen. Like, you don't need to explain it away with demons.
We need to be aware if we're going to protect ourselves, because we are in a society where evil is growing, and I think good is growing as well. But we have to know how to protect ourselves. And the only reason why I learned all this is because of the depths of curses that came against us. It was very difficult, but it taught me so much. So knowledge is power. So in this case, we need to be able to stop it. So how do you think we stop it? You don't have to say, but just in your mind. We stop it one way, prayer. That's how you defeat all evil. And I'll get into that. Okay, there it is. So here are some other things. I think I skipped a couple.
Ashley says, I gotta wonder if there are people in the audience thinking, why have this crazy person come up and talk about demons? We need to hear about real stuff, the aliens and secret super soldier programs. I've had the same thought, because a lot of their stuff is in conflict with each other, and they get into little petty arguments about it. So, like, are they not confused that they're all supposedly tapping into the same secret information, but it's all discongruent and it's all different information? I wish I could ask them, because I am curious how they sort of justify and rationalize that in their heads. Lennon Cat with 40 bits says she's been speaking for several minutes and has said nothing at all. She said, we're being cursed. That's a thing.
Of what curse?
Not a true thing, but a thing.
What they like to curse with is cancer, tumors, discredit you publicly or your family, depression, sadness, anger, not to move forward in life, not to remember what they've done. Your life's out of balance, kill yourself, curse what you love, be alone and miserable. No one will love you. They block meridians and chakras. They cover your pineal gland. That's just to name a few. The list is huge.
Maybe same things, different names deal. Could be.
The other thing that's really important, I don't know if you're familiar with, is clearing ancestral bloodline iniquity. Because especially if you're a survivor, you're going to come with a lot of crap from your ancestors. And you do need to clear what your ancestors have brought. If you're a survivor of MK Ultra, SRA, it's absolutely imperative that you do this.
Yeah, the pineal gland should be a bingo space, I would agree. It comes up a lot. It comes up not so much that it would be a free space, but enough that it's a good, solid space.
Because you will not get the life you want, because there's so much holding you back with the fallen angels. So basically, when all hell broke loose is because I talked a little bit about in book 1, but it was more of a general topic that anybody could read. But book 2, I focused on the core foundation of programming that's in every MK Ultra survivor, and it's called the Tree of Death. It's the
Oh, that's loud thunder. Now I'm kind of afraid the power's gonna go.
core,
I hope it doesn't.
and that's where I found out working with.
And if it does, I hope it doesn't strike me with lightning and destroy me and give me freakazoid powers.
100 people.
Chitaro with 50 bits says, I feel like if I were a super soldier, I'd be resistant to this magic mumbo jumbo. I'd pass all my saving throws against witch curses. I'm just built different after surviving MK Ultra. You're not a super soldier. You're an ultra soldier.
All over the world. It didn't matter how old they were. It didn't matter what country they were from. And it didn't matter what they believed. Every single one of them had it. And they all had the New World Order Army soldier programming with some other.
Astrofox says, holy shit, we desperately need to fix our mental health system in this country. You have no idea. But the thing is also, like, even if it was available to these people, none of them think they're sick. None of these people think they're crazy. So how do you get them to get help when none of them think there's anything wrong, and in fact they think there's something wrong with you for not believing them? It's a tough conundrum. Don't get me wrong, access needs to be a priority. Access to healthcare, in particular mental health care for stuff like this, definitely necessary. But let's say we even get there. How do you convince people like this that they need the help?
Things. So this is the core that all programming is built on. It is spiritual, okay? To the Cabal, this is sacred and forbidden knowledge. So we're going to talk about the Tree of Death and what that means.
Oh, Tree of Death. I've heard about the Tree of Life, so that's fun. Doing opposites, that's good.
If you are not aware. The Tree of Death comes from the inverted Kabbalah, and that's what the Cabal believes in.
Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism, so I'll go thinly veiled anti-Semitism for that one.
So the Tree of Death is actually the opposite of the Tree of Life. So my logo is the Tree of Life because the Tree of Life is just as important to God as the Tree of Death is to Lucifer. So the Tree of Life is the representation of God's love for us. The Tree of Life is the greatest gift that can be given to all mankind because it's eternal life with Him. Now, we'll make it opposite. Lucifer steals everything from God, so he has stolen, inverted the Tree of Life to be called the Tree of Death. But just as the Tree of Life is
we already had Satanic on the bingo card, Skipzoa.
Important to God, Tree of Death is everything to Lucifer's kingdom.
Is it like the anti-life equation?
Excuse me. So in Lucifer's world, the tree represents his kingdom.
Is the Tree of Life biblical imagery? Yes, the story of Genesis does talk about the Tree of Life and the Tree of Knowledge of Good and Evil. I believe the Tree of Life is the one that allows you to live forever. The Tree of Knowledge of Good and Evil was the forbidden fruit tree that Eve, in the story, eats of after the serpent tells her she'll know good from evil like God.
And spending paradise for eternity with Him. The Tree of Death is called the Seraph. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that in the Kabbalah. Originally, when the Kabbalah was written, it was a positive thing about God. And then it was inverted. So every survivor, MK Ultra and SRA, has this installed. It's a universal template where all programming will be connected to. So when I say this, it's a spiritual programming. This is not what the programmers like to do and play around with you, a survivor's mind, like Disney programming. This is not that. This is what the Seraph tree looks on a person once they install it. The installation begins in the womb. Every survivor, I'm going to clear this out.
The slow pan was pretty funny.
Every survivor begins their program.
It's more just bastardization of like chakras and stuff like that, Eastern religion concepts, basically yoinked by white people to turn into their own woo-woo bullshit.
Programming in the womb. Every survivor, without exception. They follow this template. How could they?
Does the reverse of this ever happen, by the way? Are there, like, conspiracy theorists somewhere, like anywhere, I guess, in Asia, anywhere where sort of dharmic religions are the predominant faith base, where they, like, yank random stuff from, like, Christianity or Islam or Judaism and use it to these, you know what I mean? Like, is there someone using the Trinity in some kind of weird conspiracy way, like in Singapore? I don't know.
Do this to millions of people worldwide, seriously, and be so organized. And the same people have all of this worldwide. It has to be a template. If you know Illuminati, they're very organized in their hierarchy. This is their template, which I teach in all 3 books of 1,650 pages. It will have every single thing you need to know about the Kabbalah, the programming, how to remove it, and the tools to remove it. Because I am sick to death of all survivors running in circles, never getting healed, their minds never pulled together, and honestly, they believe that they never will have their mind together. I'm sick of that teaching. It's a lie. All survivors, when you go to a licensed therapist, they will tell you it's not possible.
I just realized the Moonies pull a lot of stuff from Christianity.
Once your mind is fractured to become whole, that is a lie. I want the truth out because I am so very sick of what they have done. So, for 20 years, I went to therapist. And I paid like $1 million, no, I'm just kidding, but a lot of money. And this is the 90s. And I started this long journey, very long journey. And by the end of those 20-some years, I had had enough because I worked with a survivor professional who supposedly could get you free. But what he did was get me more screwed up, and it was a nightmare. It was a great teaching lesson of what not to do, but that's where I learned the front programming does nothing, because that's what we did for a whole year. We worked on
Oh no. The super soldier's IT is not up to snuff.
Once a month. Didn't get me free one little bit. So I decided I need to go do something else. I need to find some holistic ways of healing, and luckily I did, and that's when I began to change my whole life. I began to heal all the trauma because I had 1 million memories. And the ticket here is, even if you have 1 million memories, it doesn't mean you're healed. And I found that out the hard way. So I'm going to make a very long story short. I did find holistic ways like tapping, body code, and whatever else I could find. And I started healing all the trauma I needed to heal. And I did feel so much better, and actually had a pretty happy life. I was doing pretty good. It was probably one of the happiest times in my life. And then something happened, and I'm like, something happened to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this can't be possible. Not at 25 years later. No way. They cannot call me back. Well, guess what? They did. They called me back after 10 million different ways of trying to heal, remove, basically anything. And they called me back when Hillary Clinton was going to be the president. In 2015.
Clinton's on the bingo card.
I knew something was wrong. I could not believe it. There's no way. I had too many memories. I'm doing great. I'm a practitioner. I travel all over the world. I work all over the world. I'm helping everybody. They called me back. They called me back because I had the Tree of Death Foundation programming and the New World Order Army programming. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. And they brought me back and they reprogrammed a program that was already there. That's a sleeper in every survivor. It's called the New World Order Army Soldier. They updated it because they thought Hillary was taking over and she would be the president. That's when they would begin the New World Order. So it took me a couple years. I knew something was happening because I changed. Like, I didn't feel the same. And it was very hard with me to be very happy with God about this. I was pretty unhappy, and I just couldn't believe it. And that's when really my teaching began, because I was honestly too old for some of the things they were trying to make me do. And I really didn't have, so at least enough of my mind has started healing that I wasn't capable of doing some of it.
Excuse you, ma'am. The Super Soldier program, as we all know, has med technology that can de-age you. So why would your age be a problem?
That's what they really did, was kind of shake it all open. And then that's when the Lord, it was a couple years later, started teaching me about the Tree of Death, what that was. He taught me. I didn't learn it from anybody. He taught me. He taught me step by step. Every day, he taught me something. And he said, you're going to write a book. And I did. But he wrote most of the first book. It was just basic. And then we got into heavier and heavier. And he said, you have been called back because you had the New World Order Army Soldier. That was to be a sleeper until the New World Order, which is now, would be called. So a lot of survivors are being activated, at least in the last year and a half, 2 years. They're being activated to do assassinations, killing people, creating chaos. Basically, if you don't know this, the MK Ultra survivor was created to be an army for the cabal. And Rockefeller hired, paid, whatever you want to call it, control the CIA. And they wanted a mind control army that they could use. And that's what they have. They have millions of people around the world that have been trained exactly the same. And they call them up when they need them, and they're not done calling people up. So that is kind of what happened, of how I started finding out. I said, okay, if God...
Damn, they need to fix their internet. The cabal is interfering with their broadcast.
My husband is dead. They have come after my, excuse my language, sorry, but
can we put Charlie Kirk out of nowhere on bingo if this shit goes on for another year or so? Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. The people, I'm not joking, the people who have kept talking about the Charlie Kirk thing the longest have been the conspiracy theorist. I don't see it in any other context. Occasionally a chud will bring it up, but like, pretty much just the conspiracy theorists at this point. Ultra Undying with 40 bits says, okay, so from what I understand, there's an anti-tree of life. It's the hollow shell that existence was created. It's not an anti-tree. And Lennon Cat says, everything she's saying is a misunderstanding of real-world beliefs. In Kabbalah, the tree of life is 10 spheres that represent the various emanations of God in the universe. They represent things like majesty, wisdom, and understanding, etc. Each sphere is called a Sephiroth or Sephiroth. The spheres in the Tree of Death represent empty or inverse versions of those, and they're called Quipoth, representing anger, destruction, ignorance, etc. It's like the dark negative universes of the DC universe. It's like the dark multiverse. It's the negative evil. Okay, I got you. I
don't usually like to cry in a presentation, but I do it every time. So they have taken people that I love. They have tried to discredit me in every way. They have had every person that is high up in the Illuminati come after me spiritually. And as soon as my third book came out, I have had nonstop attacks. And
they let you get 3 books out? They're not very good at their job.
that is what I deal with. So I just want to tell you just a little bit. We can't get into because it's such a huge area, but the tree of death symbolizes all the abilities, characteristics, teachings about Lucifer and his kingdom. The tree of death is a structure of demonology, and it entraps the survivor, body, mind, and spirit. How are they learning this? The Cabal, by fallen angels. The fallen angels have taught them how to do all this. The tree of death was organized by the Freemasons, but every group uses it: the Druids, the fertility cults, Illuminati, etc.
What are the fertility cults?
People don't know how big the Druids are, but if you're a survivor, you need to really start checking out the Druids, because I think Druids in every single family have a big pull on humanity. And just to tell you one quick resource to help you is Amanda Byes, Canaan Ministries in South Africa. She has a prayer. It's about 85 pages of information about the Druids. And every single person I have had read that has had major shifts and in some cases reactions. So pray about it if it's something you should do.
What? She wrote you called it a prayer, but it's apparently informative. It's an 85-page prayer? Okay.
But it gives a lot of information. And when I started working with these high-up ladies called the Mothers of Darkness, it's when I found out the Druids were such a huge role in this programming. This is what the Seraph tree looks like. It's very satanic looking.
It's very satanic looking.
So a short background on Kabbalah. What it is the cults are trying to create a very deeply embedded way of consciousness that will entrap the survivor.
A very deeply embedded way of consciousness. What?
Forever. There's too much information about Kabbalah, but the 3 books will explain it. You can research the Kabbalah yourself. They just inverted everything that's taught. The cult worships pagan demon gods. So the Freemasons have a strong belief in the Temple of Solomon, and the programming is based on their beliefs. And when I worked with the Mothers of Darkness, 20 of them from all over the world, every single one of them had the Temple of Solomon mind control programming. It's, as far as I know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I have only found it in the highest groomed survivors, who are the Mothers of Darkness and the Fathers of Death. There might be other things like the Druid priests and kings and that kind of thing.
Yeah, do your own research on the bingo card.
We'll have it as well. In Satanism, I can't go through this, there's so much on every topic, but Astarte is known as Astaroth. Just like the seal of Solomon, Astaroth has a lesser key of Solomon and known as the seal of Azaroth. So these represent sigils for 72 different demonology. So they're very into the pagan god and goddess demons that we've all heard of. So Isis, Astarte, even Thor, Odin, those are all demon gods. They worship them. And at rituals.
Why can these people not understand that there are religions other than their own, and it's not demons? People have other religious beliefs that might include deities or demigods. It's not demons.
They call on them for their powers. So in order for the Satanist to get what they want, they call upon these demon gods who have specific powers that they represent for specific knowledge. And in order for them to get it, they have to kill a sacrifice. They have to have a sacrifice to these demon gods. So yes, they worship Lucifer, but they worship these pagan goddesses. They want the knowledge they have and the information. And that's how they get it. In the olden days, throughout the old times, Astarte was known as Ina, Isis. I won't go through all these. Aphrodite, Venus, Freya, and they still represent these gods and what they can give. So in the back of my book, I have a large dictionary basically of all these demon gods, because if you're a survivor or a professional helping them, you have to actually be aware of them because they're part of the programming. The cult will also use Bible stories to program, and that's a huge piece as well.
Oh,
So the
Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much.
tree of death, again, is spiritual, and it represents Lucifer's kingdom. This is not anything else but spiritual, and this is their hidden secret that keeps everybody under bondage. It is the spiritual programming that will keep the legal rights of the demons. So I
The legal rights of the demons.
didn't know
Do the demons have their own public defenders?
when I was going for help that I had a whole bunch of fallen angels attached to me at every level of my programming. I had no idea. Like, what? That can't be true. And what they do is when they start the programming following the template, the spiritual part, they attach fallen angels to each step because it holds the programming in place. Okay, I kind of already explained that.
Do I
So
think there
when
are
I wrote-
sovereign citizen demons? You can't exorcise me. I'm not possessing. I'm just traveling through this child.
Two, because I was talking so much about the tree of death,
And then Father Karras gets thrown down the stairs.
I worked with 20 mothers of darkness. Some were sent
Almost on a hype train.
in to spy, and some were just to get attacks or whatever. But the ones that really wanted help, the weird thing is they are the highest levels, and they're considered the father of death and the mother of death, or darkness is considered Lucifer's Adam and Eve. So they've been trained at the highest levels of evil. With programming at this level, they're able to wield large amounts of evil because they've trained, they have the core foundation programming of the tree of death.
I find it a little funny that she's like, Satan just steals everything from God, but ultimately it really just feels like an excuse for lazy writing. So you can just be like, you know, Adam and Eve, right? Satan's got like an evil version. It just feels lazy. Like, remember that time Lord Zed made his own evil Power Rangers, but they were terrible? It's kind of like that. Fennikagami with 40 bits says, this is kind of how you can tell that these mythologies are bastardized modern understanding based on pop culture rather than ancient texts or whatever. Most ancient religions, I think even early Christianity, didn't really see death as evil or a separate thing from life, but rather as two parts of the same whole, a yin and a yang, if you will. Many had gods whose domain was life and death. This relationship was why Persephone was married to Hades, for example, life married to death. And Chitara with 50 bits says, that's some cool lore, ma'am. When is session 0? I want to make sure my character sheet's in order in time. And finally, Bittergrin with 100 bits says, I would have expected Satan to at least make Adam and Steve. That would be better. All right. Hype Train, 90% to level 3. Thank you, everyone. If you want to help support the Hype Train, you can use bits or subs.
That they have a higher level of programming, and they have to do certain things, and they are the bloodline. They have to have the bloodline in order to be able to wield this level. So what that means very quickly is the bloodline, as it goes down to each generation, passes very stronger and stronger levels of evil in the family. So when it started,
Oh, also, I haven't mentioned this. I'm so sorry. We are going to do the YouTube member and patron-only live show tomorrow. We're going to just watch like a Halloween movie, a spooky movie together. So, yeah, be here for that if you're a patron or a YouTube member.
first generation,
It'll be after a normal stream. So.
it was this level. But when it goes number 2, 3, 4, 5, you get down to 5 generations. Number 5 has got a lot of evil in the family. That's why ancestral clearing is so important. So it's a big deal. The biggest thing that I'm trying to just let people know is that what we're missing is the spiritual programming that they use against us. I'm not talking about your job or your role that you were given, like a super soldier. I'm not talking about that. That's a role, that's a job.
Ancestral clearing is like what Bob Larson does. It's basically claiming that you have curses and demons on you because of things your ancestors did, which is very Christian, the sins of the father kind of archetype. But yeah, it's this idea that, like, you have demons and it's because your family history is wicked and satanic and you need to do something. How is Bob these days? Still grifting. Still grifting.
That's the programming, and that I almost consider sometimes front programming. What's underneath all of it is a spiritual programming. And many people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to look at it. They don't want to believe it. But if you are a survivor and you will not look at it, you will not get free. And I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be negative.
Harold Obelman says, haven't dared to ask, is that South Carolina Arthurian racist lady in this shit somewhere? We haven't seen her in a bit. She's not a part of this group that I'm aware of. She's still around. I just haven't pulled any of her videos recently. I'm sure we'll see her soon.
The deep hidden spiritual programming is different than what role or job. My job was to be a messenger as a kid between President Nixon and Ford and all these foreign dignitaries all around.
Oh, yeah, she's cracked in the head. That's definitely not true. What a shame. Minute and a half on the hype train.
The world. That was my job. But that wasn't the core programming. So I'll go ahead and skip that. I know what I'm saying could be new to you because it was new to me, but I proved what I've said, so it cannot be unproved by somebody because I've worked with 100 people all over the world and every single.
What do you mean you proved it? You can't just say you proved it. You prove it. Don't just say I proved it. Prove it.
Let them have it. So you can say this is BS. That's fine. But what I'm telling you is...
All right, I think this is bullshit.
Is if you think about this, who are Satanists? They follow, worship Satan. So who in the world is the opposite of that? This is, you think the opposite is our role in MK Ultra? Do you think that's the opposite of what they're believing in? They believe in Satan. Everything they do is spiritual. Everything they do, it's all hidden. So one thing I know for a fact is that there are so many downloads of demons in this whole step of programming. And every step of the way, they want to make sure we cannot go to Christ. We cannot go to Jesus. Because if we go to Jesus, we have a chance to get free. So demons are the stronghold that keep everybody in place. And the cult would not have success like they do if they didn't have their fallen angels. So how do we remove the legal rights that demons have?
I just can't with the legal rights of demons. Thanks for the hype train.
Does everybody understand what legal rights are? Because
I understand what real legal rights are. I don't know what you're going to talk about.
What it means is a demon has a legal right to a survivor because somebody gave permission for it to be there. So if you say a deliverance prayer or a prayer, it's not going to work at the level that it has to because the fallen angels have legal right. And that's the key here. There's only one way. We must get to somebody who has authority over this. And that answer is Jesus Christ. He's the only one that has authority over Lucifer or the fallen angels. You cannot get free without him. And I know, believe me, I know survivors that you don't want to hear that because you've been taught your whole life to go against Jesus Christ. I know.
What is she talking about?
Because it was done to me too. They hate Jesus and they program us at every single level not to go to him.
The the majority of the people who are the super soldier stuff believe in God. In my experience, they're usually religious, so it's weird that she's like proselytizing to these people.
Because they know he's the only answer. So, have you ever wondered why everybody's been programmed to hate Jesus or think he's not real? Or they can't help?
Ma'am, you grew up in the United States.
because he can kick their butt and nobody else can.
See what I mean? The crowd's like, that you're preaching to the choir, lady. Like, what do you think you're doing here?
And that is the truth. And they're scared to death of him. So we got to go to the one that has authority. If you're familiar with how the hierarchy works in the cult, everything is about authority. And so there is no authority over the fallen angels and Lucifer. It's Jesus only. And that's how we overcome all of this. You can't get free by yourself.
Where does James find these people? I think these people find him at this point.
And I know survivors, I've heard a zillion stories of people that come in to see me. I understand fully, but we can't do it by ourselves because this is a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual war. When you get through all the programming, we address both of it in the removal process. But if you'll be shocked to know that things like Monarch programming, the Disney programming, that kind of thing, it's very, very easy to remove. I'm not kidding you. What's difficult is the spiritual, but it's not even that difficult. It's just hard work.
Fenekigami with 40 bits says, speaking of grifting, there's a video that Kai Trump did with her grandfather Donald of them going golfing together, and it's just an hour-long grift session. Kai uses her grandfather to shill her own sports drink and YouTube channel, and because she's too young to know better, she exposes how completely checked out of it Trump is. Honestly, it's kind of sad to see someone puppet around their own grandfather just to make money, but hey, I guess he taught her well. Yeah.
What's the benefit of going to Jesus?
Why does she keep mentioning Disney? So it's a belief in conspiracy circles that Disney was involved in the MK Ultra programs, or that Disney's business model in terms of their young celebrity, like kid celebrities, was a direct result of the MK Ultra program, which they also called the Butterfly program. So they think that, like, what was her name who played Lizzie McGuire? Hilary Duff, the girl who played Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, Justin Timberlake, he was on the Mickey Mouse Club, and so was Britney Spears, I think. They think, like, kid celebrities who have anything to do with Disney were all put through an MK Ultra style brainwashing program to do things to program children in society through entertainment. You ever seen Josie and the Pussycats, the movie? It's a little bit like that. Kind of. Okay.
Jesus. He can destroy curses.
Yes, even Ryan Gosling.
He can release the demons. He can heal the altars. He can release the trauma. He can remove the programming. He can remove all legal rights from the ancestors too. He can pull your mind back together so you're whole and guides you every step of the way. One of the greatest things I love when I work with survivors is, let's say that one of the survivors has altars. Well, not they all, everybody has altars, but he goes in and those altars are in so much pain. And he literally can release their pain in seconds in the process.
They mean alters as in alternate personalities, usually used to describe different personalities in someone with DID. She just thinks all the super soldiers have secondary personalities, I guess.
Process that I do that's in my books. Seconds, the altar is healed. How do you pull your mind back together? You have to heal the altars. You cannot heal the altars if they are stuck in the programming. If they are stuck in a spiritual program, you can't get them out until you keep getting there, until you get to that point. But Jesus can still heal them while you're working in this process, and Jesus will help you with anybody. If you just have child parts, you're not a survivor. Child parts, he will heal them in an instant. If you've had the worst trauma in the whole entire world.
All right. I'm going to move on to the next guest because she's just literally talking about Jesus.
Seraph tree was developed with
operations before being age regressed, in which participants served 20-year terms program.
Damn, their internet was so bad this
The
day.
20 and Back program refers to a covert space initiative in which participants served 20-year terms in off-world operations before being age regressed or moved into a clone of the appropriate age and returned to Earth, often with their memories suppressed.
Oh yeah, they have a theme song. It's AI.
From the age of 2, Chris recalls being taken into covert programs linked to the SSP, serving 20 years on Earth aboard Mimas, an 8th density space station said to be overseen by the Confederation of Planets, where he lived among advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. Mimas is not simply a moon of Saturn, but an advanced space station owned and operated by the Confederation of Planets, existing in the 8th density, a realm of unity consciousness and infinite awareness, and the highest octave of known existence. Mimas served as a hub where civilizations from across the galaxy gather to share knowledge, technology, and spiritual advancement. His job on the station extended far beyond what advanced technology, diplomacy, and consciousness work. As a telepath and empath, he was uniquely positioned to act as a liaison between humanity and a wide range of extraterrestrial civilizations. Upon returning to Earth with his memories slowly restored, Chris explains that his ability to recover memories comes from a combination of factors: a pre-incarnation agreement to awaken and share his
Ooh, a pre-incarnation agreement. That's like a soul contract.
story, his natural sensitivity as a telepath and empath, a lifetime of meditation and seeking, and his work with interested extraterrestrial races and technologies. While most people experience only flashes of deja vu, Chris's path has allowed him to bring back detailed recollections, not just for himself, but as a catalyst for others to question their own hidden experiences.
Oh, well, he's extra special then.
Due to the nature of his work, Chris did with both the U.S. military and extraterrestrial races. Chris was exposed to many amazing technologies that bridge the gap between science and spirituality. This is how Chris was able to develop his Deems service, Divine Evolution.
Oh no, he's the Deems device man! Where's my Deems device? Hold on. It's around here somewhere. It's a goddamn metal tube. Where's my Deems device, you fuckers? God damn it. Where did I put it?
Electromagnetic microsingularity, a groundbreaking tool that helps people relieve pain, heal, and unlock their own hidden potential. Wow, that's fantastic, Chris. So everybody, put your hands together for beautiful Chris O'Connor coming to speak.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You so much.
You can put it here, but that light was blinding in the eye, so.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here, and thanks for having me and being here to listen. I don't like standing behind anything, so I'm going to kind of step out a little bit.
I cannot express to you enough. I know I have it somewhere because Mr. Blast made one for me, but this guy's device that he claims to have created, it's a tube. It's a metal tube that has magnets in it, and then you like put a magnet on the top that has a crystal in it, and he like waves it over you like a magic wand, and he claims that it heals you. That's what he's claiming to have invented. A metal tube with magnets and a crystal that does magic.
As we just heard, I'm Chris O'Connor, and I did spend 60 years working for some covert military operation, and 20 years of that was on Earth, and then the next 40 years I was moved to it's a moon, the first moon outside the rings of Saturn.
That's no moon.
And it is called Mimas. But we'll get into a little more detail on that in a bit. But for the most part, that's where I spent my remaining 40 years. And in fact, when you understand,
I found it, you fucks. So the only difference between this one and his is there'd be like a crystal here, and you would like rub it, kind of wave it over whatever ails ya, and it'll heal you. Ooh, it's not. It won't heal you.
And how timelines work, that I'm actually still on Mimas until 2030. But I'm also here at the same time. So we can talk about that if anybody wants to know. You can ask about it. But for the most part, I was 2 years old. I was born in 1968 in Southern California. And at the age of 2, I was taken from my grandmother's house where my parents were living.
Does it work on period cramps? No, but in its defense, it doesn't work on anything else either. So that's about par for the course.
And I was taken by those memories at that age are fairly difficult to bring in detail. I just remember the shape of the man that brought me, and knowing what the Air Force uniforms look like now, I have to extrapolate it was the Air Force, but it could have been naval.
Don't I have the bag of crystal charging stones? Yes, there's the bag of crystals downstairs. I'll have to glue a crystal to this to make it even more official.
Navy. So anyway, they took me at the age of 2, and I was taken, I don't know where I was taken necessarily. I do believe it was still on Earth. And I was age advanced from a 2-year-old to about a mid-20-year-old.
Well, that's not very helpful. A 2-year-old in a 20-year-old's body? They're just going to be crying and shitting themselves like a college student.
In about 4 to 5 weeks. And that process was fairly traumatizing. What they do is, there are multiple ways of age advancing. I think they've probably got better stuff now, but at that time, the most stable way of age advancing a body was to put them in this what's called a pink goo or pink gel. It's a little thicker than water, not a lot, but a little bit. And they basically put you in a tank and drowned you.
Back to tank. Is this just a back to tank?
So I was drowned and forced to take in this gel, right? I mean, because I was placed in the tank and they compressed my chest and stomach down and caused me to try to inhale. So I took in this pink gel. Well, this pink gel is pretty phenomenal stuff, actually. It's a technology, and it's based on, and it's grown, but it's based on the DNA of whoever they're going to try to age advance. So at some point they had my DNA already. And so then they prepared this tank of this pink gel based on my DNA. So that it also has an anesthetizing quality, and you kind of get put out. But
is this goo the same stuff as the stuff? No, that you put in your mouth. This you put in your respiratory system. So it's more similar to a different sci-fi movie. What movie is that where it's like oxygenated liquid that they breathe? What movie is that? I don't remember if they're underwater or they're in space. Was it The Abyss? The Abyss, when they breathe in the stuff. Reminds me a little bit of that, but it has the quality of making you age quicker. So it's like a mix of the stuff from The Abyss and the beach from the movie Old.
I just remember being drowned and looking at the face of this woman while she's doing it. And I'm 2 years old, right? So then what the body does when it's in that kind of a trauma is it releases everything, right? So,
What color is this stuff from The Abyss? Hold on. The Abyss breathing liquid. Oh my god, it's pink! It's like, okay, so he's definitely just okay. He's literally just remembering the shit from The Abyss. He's literally just the stuff from The Abyss is what he's talking about. Come on now. Come on now. Let's be a little original in your bullshit made up stuff that you're... Ah! They're so unoriginal. They're so unoriginal.
Because you're basically getting ready to die, the body. So then they have to flush the tank out, and they flushed out the tank.
Like
and
he couldn't even change the color in his fantasy. It's the same.
Refill it very quickly, and they left me in there. So I had to I remember trying to struggle to breathe. It was a little harder than breathing air, but I realized this gel was providing oxygen. You know, these aren't.
Do I own the Abyss? Hold on. This is important. I have to stop my job, which is this stream, so I can look and see if I own the movie The Abyss. The Abyss. Oh my god, I don't own The Abyss. Well, my collection's a failure. Lennon Cat with 40 bits says, I'm not stealing my conspiracies from a movie. It was predictive programming.
The complex thoughts I had it too, but now I look back, this is how I believe it
If you want my collection to have The Abyss, use the tip link.
was. Also, I was told later by my handler in the Air Force what happened. You know, so that's how I got most of my information. Was fortunately somebody actually told me what happened, and so the memories I had made sense. I could put them together. So there I am in this tank.
No, I don't have The Abyss.
I'm calming down now, and then they put this series of needles because this you can imagine.
I have Sphere. Is that better? Where's Sphere? Wait. I know I have Sphere. Well, I have Sphere somewhere. I have Deep Blue Sea. That's an underwater movie. Right? Is Ice Cube in this? Am I crazy? No, I'm thinking of Anaconda. Samuel L. Jackson's in this one. Anyway.
Imagine, a tank, a couple foot long, but it's on its side, it's like an acrylic cylinder, so you could see through it. And then there's a top lid and everything, and so that's where they put me in. And then all around it are these little small holes, like little rubber, stopper things. And so once I'd calmed down, then they started putting in these needles through these holes. And those needles were penetrating my body. And
LL Cool J was in one of the Halloween movies, and Busta Rhymes was in Halloween Resurrection. LL Cool J was Halloween H2O.
And what that
I think
was meant for was so that my body would grow internally and externally all at the same rate. So they penetrated all of the organs, or at least got close to them. And that pink gel that
Ghost of Mars has Ice Cube. Okay.
Was in that space was also being pumped inside the body so that everything would grow at the same rate. So that process was several weeks, like I said, 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know the exact length of time, but then of course I was moved after a short period of time, which I don't remember much of anything after kind of being drowned in it, much after that. I don't remember, but then they moved me into a larger, because I was growing. So then they moved me into a larger tank, and I don't really remember the process of being moved. I have no memory of that, but then I was in this larger tank, and the next thing I know, this is like 4 or 5 weeks later, they flushed the tank. And
LL Cool J was in Deep Blue Sea as the cook? Okay. All right.
And now I am a 2-year-old brain in a 25-year-old body, and so for the next 2 or 3 days, I cried like a baby. I mean, that's what I was. And it was really very freaky feeling, because I knew something was different, but I didn't have the capacity to know what was actually different. And
on top of everything else, can I point out how ridiculous it is that they're claiming to have this vivid of a memory of something that they're claiming happened to them when they were 2 years old? It's crazy.
I know. It's like, I was constantly cold, and I just wanted my parents and all this stuff. So it was for like a couple of days. And the reason it was a couple of days is because my body had to readjust to oxygen. And I actually had gotten so accustomed subconsciously to that gel that now it was kind of panicky to breathe air again. So it's amazing to me how our brain adjusts, right? So anyway, I was there for 2, 3, 4 days, just on a hospital type bed. And so after that, what they did was they came in once my body adjusted to oxygen and my new muscles. Then they unlocked my memories. And then like moments, like seconds after they unlocked my memories, I then knew who I was. I knew why I was there and that I had agreed to do it ahead of time, before I was ever born. I actually met myself and my soul family met with the United States military ahead of time and made this plan.
What? Your pre-birth soul and your, quote, soul family, apparently in an other realm where we are all soul beings, we still have nuclear family structure. So his soul family met with the United States military and made a deal. I don't know. None of that makes any sense. None of that makes any sense.
And it was my bright idea. So I'm like, careful what you ask for. So anyway, once they unlocked my memories, it took some time to emotionally adjust. And so we went through that process. Then I went into some training with the military, mostly in memory extraction, in empathic and psychological strengthening of the mind and all these things, because that's the work I was there to do. So I spent about 20 years in service. Part of the agreement that I made with the military was if you sponsor me in this program, because I'm not, as many of us, I am not originally from Earth, but we're here to be of assistance in any way that we can find to be of assistance to help humanity during this transitional period into more enlightenment. And we all do it in a very different way. And this was my way, because what I ultimately wanted to do was represent Earth at the space station of Mimas. And this was the only way to do it, because what happens when there's a whole clause of non-interference, that most races abide by here on Earth.
Not very well, apparently, considering you're here.
So the way around that is to literally be born into the race. So
the guy in the audience being like, right, yeah, that makes sense.
Now you're part of that race. So any memories you bring in is being of assistance to them. And you're not limited then, so you can tell everything and then you're helping the race in that way. So that
doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
This is why
we're coming up to probably the last 20 minutes of stream, so let's lightning round this shit. Let's see the next guy. Oh, he's got a MAGA hat. This guy, I'm sure, will be great. Jesus. Is he gonna play?
Awesome. This is a little piece.
The source of all that is good will help you stand.
4 times I've saved James' ass, literally. I'll put it here. I think he was falling from here.
Also, I kind of want to get a frozen pizza after this, so if you wanna spring for a good one, you can use my tip link. You don't have to. I'm just gonna be a little beggy bitch about it.
There we go.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Oh, good. We're gonna crank the music back up.
See, the same way God does with all of us, we had to help our guy back here stand on his own 2 feet. Our Creator, our God, helps us stand on our own 2 feet. But then we have to realize and accept the fact that there's a whole bunch of others that need to stand on their 2 feet. And we accept them and help them. They're trying to get some more people from out there to let them know to come on in. And then for the camera thing and everything, I've got some photos I'm going to be showing. And a little bit of show and tell. And the first part of what I'm doing.
Can we go over the bingo card soon? We can take a look at it right now. We're almost done with the stream, so we should definitely take a look. Did we have anything else? I know we had incorrect word origin as evidence. We have... Let's see. Predictive programming. Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. MK Ultra. I don't think chemtrails has been mentioned yet. We can go popular media's evil. Satanic. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Atlantis. Believe sci-fi technology exists. Clones. I don't think we had aliens or demons. Clintons, Bidens, Obamas, yes. Skifazoa! Can I see your card for the bingo? And then I will write your name down. That should be it, I think. Let's take a look real quick. Staggering levels of hypocrisy. Did we? I don't think we had staggering levels of hypocrisy, did we? I'll double check. No, we did! Okay. Alright. Staggering levels of hypocrisy, word salad, Hannah puts head in hands, Atlantis, overt anti-Semitism. You do indeed win, Skifazoa. Congrats. I shall write your name down. And you have a bingo win. So congrats. Skifazoa. Not Poi Pole. Thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome. Give it to a random person. Will do. Gifting a random sub. Let's see who it goes to.
Doing is actually
Steffi fan. Steffi fan. Congrats on your random gift sub.
actually going to be more for the people who are going to be watching the film. So the first part of what I'm going to be doing.
Oh, Nemesaur, thank you. Nemesaur with a $15 tip says, get a good pizza, or at least several cheap, mediocre pizzas. Thank you.
Is because I've been called everything from a fraud to a federal agent. So we're going to kind of get rid of all of that so people can focus on what it's all about.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, we're just going to ask everybody we got Noel Benoit here, guys. Everybody. Hang on, I just want to kind of bring down the conversation a little bit. Everybody.
People are still talking.
We've got Noel speaking now, okay? Lovely ladies and gentlemen.
They're telling you to shut up. Why don't you get that?
Lady.
Like, I don't like the people here, but this annoys me. At, like, conventions or whatever, the person's talking. Stop it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Speaker on the
we are going to
stage.
begin.
Thank you, guys. Now we can hear you on the recording.
Okay. All right. Now I can be heard. So, all right. Well, praise the Lord. And I always start, we had a little prayer, James and I, over there. But I always start with, Father.
Oh, God. In the Bible, Jesus said those who pray publicly are hypocrites who just want to be seen as holier than thou. Fun fact. Guessing this guy didn't read that part.
Protect me from me.
Fuck off.
In the hands of God. Go to the pliers, fixes your car. So if a mechanic fixes your car, you don't go to the pliers or to the tools that the mechanic used and say, oh, thank you for fixing my car. You go to the mechanic. See? What do we got?
This
There we
guy's all
go.
over the place.
And with me, I'm the microphone.
Oh, he's gonna say everything he's saying is really God. He has no responsibility for any of the statements he makes. This is all God.
The one who will be using this microphone overwhelms me all the time.
Oh my God. If you claim to speak for God, go fuck yourself. In terms of the human experience, in terms of all pieces of rhetoric ever developed, the idea that you're not talking, God has got to be one of the most destructive pieces of rhetoric ever devised by the sickening synapses of the human mind. I just can't with these fucking people. You actually can't criticize anything I'm saying or anything because then you're criticizing God? This is actually God talking, not me, even though my lips are moving. It's God.
Because I know who I am as a natural person. And I'll tell you right now, you got the guy in front of you who messed up more than anybody on earth. And that message is for all of you out there and for everyone.
Even from a believer perspective, it's very arrogant. I would imagine especially from a believer perspective, it's very arrogant. Like, to me, there's no one to offend, right? I don't think there's a God, so it's just like a person being a douchebag. If you're a believer, this guy is literally taking the Lord's name in vain. He is trying to speak for God. Like, that's, if you believed in God, fucked up, right? Instead of just embarrassing like it is in real life.
Where? When this prodigal son came home, God welcomed me with open arms and love. He didn't kick me out, didn't say, I told you were going to mess up. He said, my son who was lost is home. Give him a mantle of authority. God had a jeweler make this ring for me. It's on my middle finger.
God had a jeweler make that ring for you? Did he put in the order, or did you? Because I'm guessing you had a jeweler make that ring for you. God isn't usually big on paying deposits himself.
Because the Jews put the wedding ring on the middle finger, because that finger is the one that goes straight to the heart.
Don't all veins go to the heart, ultimately? That's what they're for.
The Jewish star with the cross inside. And the Jewish star is a triangle within a triangle intertwined, because the Jews knew that the source of all things is triune. When Moses had his incident on Mount Zion, he said, who shall I say send me? Because we as people...
Wait, do you mean Sinai? I thought that was Mount Sinai. No, wait. Because Zion, Mount Zion is like where Jerusalem is supposed to be. Mount Sinai is where the Ten Commandments were transcribed, right? Lennon Cat says, I'm betting this guy and the other guy have some disagreements, you think?
We've just got to have names for everything. And actually what God told Moses was, I am. The picture in the Hebrew is, I don't need a name.
Okay, let's see the next person. Again, I was trying to lightning round, but then I got pulled in by this guy. This bullshit. Let's see what the next guy's deal is.
Is it now? 2:30. We're actually only 5 minutes for lunch. We're doing good.
10, I don't know, 15 minutes. Okay. If we're going to wrap up and stuff, I might have to fast forward through some slides and things like that, but it's fine. Oh, I don't know, like 4 hours.
Oh, shit.
My whole story is about 4 hours.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got. Okay, so you want me to wrap?
In the United States Navy. Hello, hello everybody. My name is Daryl James, and I was in the United States Navy Secret Space Program.
Question, why would the Navy have a space program? They're the Navy. They already have a job. It's water.
I have a little bit extra more memories at the end that I'll get into. I'll have to go back to my executive officer, you know, so the story's kind of going to go back and forth. I remember as a kid, one of my first memories was my father saying to me, like telepathically, but we didn't really call it that when I was around 3 or 4 years old. He said, "Do you think you'll remember how to do this as you get older?" He said, "Your sister used to know how to do it, but as she got older, she forgot." And I said, "Yeah, Dad, I'll remember." And then when I was about 19 years old, he passed away from something called a widowmaker, which was he had a clot in his heart, you know, no warning. He just died of a heart attack. And then I joined the United States Navy in January of '99.
Okay, probably Space Navy because he was actually in the real Navy, and it makes sense for his delusion to be an extension of that. Okay.
This is me in Iraq. I always felt like it was better to be kind to the people than be like a jerk. So I used to give the kids water, and I taught them things like, you know, patty cake and things like that, things that we knew. I used to teach them all the songs. I had an older sister, so I knew all those songs and things like that. And then after battalion, in 2004, I was stationed in St. Maughan, England. It was called JMF RAF St. Maughan when I was there, which meant Joint Maritime Force for the United States Navy and Royal Air Force working together. And it was an underground base. And you can see right there to the left, that's where I worked in the garage. And the underground base was pretty much in the center. And you can see that mound of dirt. And that was where the underground base was. It was in Cornwall, England, which is south of Wales.
All right, I'm skipping to the next guy again. This guy's boring. It's pretty hard to be the boring guy at this convention, right?
When Canada would become part of...
Does that person have full wolf face paint and ears on?
The United States.
Could I get more information about the person in full YIF gear? What's going on here? I have so many questions about the person in wolf ears and face paint and nose. What's going on here? The fucking dog girls were invited to the super soldier convention? Okay.
And eventually Mexico and the American border would end at the town of Quetzalcoatl.
In the back, see that open booth there?
Okay.
We're going to bring everybody come in and have another seat again. We got our next speaker here coming up. All right. Will, bringing everybody out there, tell them that Mike Bear is coming up. Okay, everybody have a nice seat in the chair. Everybody get comfy here. We have our next beautiful speaker here, Mike Bear, coming up, and he's going to talk to us about the history of NASA.
Oh, God.
You have a
I feel like history is probably not an accurate word for what's about to happen.
bio? I don't have a bio right
No,
now.
I'll just. No,
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. I can tell the temperature in this room has been set to what makes the ladies comfortable, not what makes the men comfortable. Wow, Florida is humid. Okay, I live in Las Vegas, so I'm used to it being really, really dry. Thanks for being here, guys. And actually, I'm not going to be giving you a whole lot of the secret history of NASA today. What we're really going to talk about is the secret space programs, what we might call the deep state.
Complaints about the temperature, but also it's women's fault for reasons.
And their connection to the murder of President Kennedy and why this is relevant today. And it's really relevant because of what Daryl was just talking about.
Is that cardboard cutout supposed to be the guy running the conference? I think so, yes. I think that's supposed to be the Super Soldier Talk guys. Why am I blanking on his name right now? Sean? No, Sean Callahan was the other guy. Why am I blanking on his name? James. There we go. Yes, I think it's supposed to be James.
About the future that's coming, which is the major shift in human consciousness that's happening actually right now as we speak, and how the earth is going to be divided. It's going to be divided into 7 different kingdoms, and it's going to be interesting to see. Who ends up with what. This whole
I'll be in the section with all the fresh water, suckers.
Thing about Alaska being part of Russia, that's great, except it's on our side of the fence, so I can't see that happening. But I hear a lot of the same things he was talking about, except that, for instance, they're talking about an English-speaking world where United States, Canada, Alaska, Greenland, Iceland, England, New Zealand, and Australia form one great commonwealth, and that
yikes
will be one of the 7 kingdoms. And there is an alliance. If you remember, in ancient Rome, before the empire and after the republic, they had what was called the triumvirate, and it started out. One of them was Caesar and Lepidus, and eventually Mark Antony and Octavian. They formed a triumvirate, and Xi Jinping and Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are one of the triumvirates right now. You got Russia, which is the military head of the new alliance. Trump is the financial head, and Xi Jinping is going to be the production head.
If people would stop venerating just the worst people on the planet, I'd really appreciate it.
Asians are going to be doing, in charge of the production. So that's the alliance that I see. And of course, to the side of them.
Also, why would Russia be in charge of the military when they suck so bad they couldn't even take a country that, it's been years and they haven't been able to take Ukraine. But you want them in charge of the global military. That sounds bad. And you want Donald Trump in charge of the economy. Wow.
Influencing them or helping them are the off-world beings. And, I don't know if you guys have ever watched, there's a YouTube channel called The Gunner's Wife, and I don't agree with her about most things, but she's very big into pointing out that John F. Kennedy Jr. appears to have impersonated a gentleman named Vincent Fusca in Pennsylvania several years ago at Trump rallies. And I could give you a whole 2 hours on that. And I know Vincent, I've talked to him many times, and he is not the guy that was at those rallies. But she does lip reading. And one of the things is, I'm just going to tell you, they've tried to assassinate Trump at least 5 or 6 times now. I can document 4 of them in the first administration, and one of them was the State of the Union in 2020. If you remember the State of the Union address, and she did lip reading of all the conversations going on between senators and congressmen beforehand, and they were saying stuff like, "Yeah. Well, what you do is you shake their hand, and then he's going to have a heart attack. He might not even make it out of the rotunda. He might not get done with his speech before it happens." And they were talking about this, and one of the other guys was talking to it was a congressman who's supposed to be MAGA, a guy named Louis Gohmert, who I think is now out of Congress. And he said to somebody else, and he said, "Yeah, he thinks his Pleiadian's going to protect him," meaning the first lady, meaning Melania, "but we're going to..."
Melania's a Pleiadian.
"Get her too." So this stuff is openly talked about, and her lip reading is flawless. We've all seen...
I don't think any alien or human being should ever have to be subjected to the naked body of Donald Trump.
Bad lip
So I don't think the Pleiadians deserve that.
reading, the NFL stuff, but they're just talking gibberish, right? She actually coordinates the lip reading really, really well to the context of the discussion, and that's why
That's got to be just total horse shit, fake lip reading. That's so funny.
when Trump went up to give that State of the Union, Nancy Pelosi went to shake his hand, and he just went, nope. Not doing it because it was like the movie The Interview. If you ever saw that one with Seth Rogen and
or maybe he's just a dick. Have you considered maybe that one?
James Franco, where they were trying to assassinate Kim Jong-un, and that's how they were going to do it. One guy was going to have the poison on his hand, and the other guy was going to have the activator, and separately they were harmless, but together they poisoned him and killed him. And that was the plan to kill Donald Trump at the State of the Union in 2020. So these people are nefarious, they're evil, and I will say something
I like that they just make stuff up to get mad about. That's healthy.
else too, that the change, the flip over, the big day, it's been planned many, many times, but it was absolutely scheduled for 9/11/2025, and that's why Charlie Kirk was murdered on 9/10/2020.
Well, all right then. This is what I don't get about stuff like that. In QAnon mythology and stuff like this, where they're like, everything was about to change, but then they did some terrible thing and it stopped it. Why don't you just still reveal the thing? They say the same thing about 9/11. Just do the thing anyway. The Dark Cabal or whatever would only win if you choose to not unveil the thing because of the thing that happened. Just do it anyway. And be like, and they did this other thing to try and stop it. But it doesn't make any sense because it's all bullshit, of course, so.
25 was to basically put a fear into the White Hats or the Alliance that we can get anybody, we can get you guys. And so that's pushed everything back now, and here we are in October, but we'll see how that all progresses. Meantime, what I want to talk to you about is the history of the secret space programs and how they influenced geopolitics. And what I like to tell everybody is that in politics, there's two reasons behind everything. It's either money or it's aliens. Money or aliens, money or aliens. Unfortunately, President Kennedy had like Donald Trump and like Richard Nixon maybe, had the audacity to get himself and he got the bankers pissed off at him, and he got the aliens and the secret space program folks pissed off at him. We're going to go through that today and try to whip it through here and get to questions. So I have a bunch of books out. This is not all of them. I have a new one on the Bermuda Triangle, actually new. It's like 5 years old.
Of course, he's got a Bermuda Triangle
The
book.
ones we're going to focus on here mostly today are going to be...
Did you know one of the most populated shipping lanes in the world has a lot of shipwrecks? Wow.
The Ancient Aliens.
What a conspiracy.
And JFK and Hidden Agenda, which is NASA and the secret space program, because there's stuff in there that's important, but we're focusing primarily on Ancient Aliens and JFK, which is the work that I'm the most proud of. And why it's relevant now is because Donald Trump has released new documents about the Kennedy assassination, which, believe it or not, have sort of solidified my pet theory on why he was killed and who...
Whoa, new documents that were released completely says that you're right? I'm so surprised you interpreted it that way.
Killed him. And as we've advanced that forward, my dream would be to get the attention of the RFK Assassinations Committee, because people like Anna Paulina Luna and RFK Jr., who are looking into UFOs, UAPs, secret space programs, are also going to be doing an assassinations committee.
I have been so disappointed by the Kennedy curse this decade.
At some point, and I really would like to get in front of them because I just feel like the people that they're talking to don't have a clue what's really been going on. So let's go back through and talk about what's really been going on. There have been 3 coups in the history of the United States that we know of just in the last 60 years. President Kennedy was one, Richard Nixon was one, and Donald Trump in 2020 was one.
Okay, we probably need to call it for the day. We're coming up on 3 hours. We could save the rest of this for another day. There might be enough to pull one more... Yeah, there's a whole other day. We can pull one more stream out of this. Shit. I kind of hate that, but yeah, this is going to be a 3-parter. Oh, channeling with Mantis. Ooh. What the fuck is channeling with Mantis? There is a picture of an alien mantis on that slide that you guys can't see as well. Raid Cooker 28, things will be going nuts today. Okay. Rick M says, just back from protesting No Kings. Hell yeah. All right, let's see. We will do more of those videos sometime next week. I'm not sure when, but one of the days next week we'll finish up and watch the rest, at least a little bit from each of the talks. So cool beans. All right, have a good night, everyone. I'll see you later. Have a great night. I'm gonna go get a frozen pizza, because I am hungry. Love you too, Mr. Blast. Have a great night, everyone. See you later. And bye-bye. Do 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 do. Bye.